Do you want to do the intro? I feel like I've done it every episode.
Hey guys, it's your boys.
No. I need more
All
energy.
right, all right, all right, all right. What's up, my dudes? It's Domo with our man Scott. We're here talking Tokusatsu.
I, it's like we had the intro format, and I was expecting you to just
I
do that.
totally forgot. I blanked. I'll be real. We did have an intro format.
Yeah, my name is Scott. I've seen a little
And my name
Tokusatsu.
is Domo, and I've seen a lot of Tokusatsu.
Did not go how I thought it was gonna go. We are now frenemies,
Yeah.
just like our two special boys this or last week.
Oh yeah. Good old Lakia and Hanto.
Maki and Hanto picking up in Gavv 32 because it was a two-parter.
They've been doing that
They
a
were
lot.
stuck together. They have, and you know what? Sometimes it doesn't work out for us.
Absolutely not.
It's a little annoying, but they were stuck together. They were fighting the praying mantis man, and he ran away.
And then Lakia notices the gash in the tree.
Yeah, this tree looks like my dead brother.
Oh no. Komel. Even Hanto at that point is like, Komel, what the fuck are you talking about?
Did your sub say Comer?
No. It
The
said,
episode I was watching said Comer.
it said Komel for myself.
Okay.
Comer?
Now I don't know which is
He's
right.
a Comer, all right.
He's a fucking Comer. So yeah, Lakia crashes the fuck out. He's even more angry at Hanto than usual.
He even tells Sachika to fuck off.
Oh my god, yeah, he fucking calls Sachika. He's like, find me this grenade now, you fucking
He's
bitch.
like, hi, jeez.
And he hangs up the phone. Yeah.
What's up with him?
What's wrong with this fucking guy? And we noticed that when Hanto's standing up, he's like, oh fuck, like my leg got fucked
Like,
up.
damn, it was that bad?
Yeah, which in turn means that Lakia's wrist got fucked up because that's where they were glued together.
Yeah, and Hanto's like, hey, chill the fuck out. We gotta recoup. But Loki ain't having it. He's like, no, I gotta hunt this bitch down. He killed my brother. I knows it when I sees it.
Well, he doesn't say that then because he doesn't give a shit about Hanto knowing he had a brother.
Excellent point.
But he is fucking beeline and focused in on that guy. And then they go to Asuga's place, right?
Yeah, they go
Or
to...
no,
before that, Shoma's with Lizelle.
Right. They're at their little tea party.
Honestly, a little weird. She has that little thing with... They bring the pancakes out, and she's like, oh, these are the pancakes. They look like ass. And proceeds to fuck up all of the toppings.
I think it's really interesting what they're doing with her, where she's like aesthetically focused, but they're still making it clear that she's like from a different dimension, so her aesthetics would be different.
I don't think...
You don't think they're that smart?
No. That's... Well, possibly. But also, I don't think that just the fact that she's from Granite World is having an
of
effect.
course.
I think it's just herself has a skewed view of
Right,
aesthetics.
she's a freak.
She's a freak, yeah.
She's 100% freak. But we get that with the pancakes, and then later on with the flowers.
Right.
She like rearranges
She
them.
tears out all of the brightly colored flowers. She leaves only like the darker colored ones. Very purple, very blue leaning. And you know, that kind of fits that darker aesthetic. She's given off goth vibes without looking goth.
She's very fun as a character.
Honestly, yes.
So far, at least.
Also, during her conversation with Shoma, she breaks the news that she's Stomach Inc.'s CEO now, and how Jeeb is now the vice president. And Shoma's like, yo, what the fuck is happening?
But not only that, she talks about how she was angry at first, like she hated Shoma because he killed, I don't even remember, Jita?
Yeah.
Was that the
Jita.
sister? But then she's like, but now I want to thank you because her death made room for me to come on in.
Right.
And it's like, ooh.
And on top of that, during their conversation, she encourages them to continue to break Jeeb down. And this is actually a very interesting relationship trope in fiction, where you have a toxic relationship and let's just call it what it is, the abuser in the relationship essentially tears down the other person. And that is the entirety of their dynamic. From this scene, I get the impression that she wants to see him at his worst. And a lot of reasoning for that is because when he's at his worst, the only one he can then depend on is her. Like, she wants to be the only thing that matters in his life. And that's the really shitty and skewed reality that these abusers have for themselves, that in order for them to seem important, the other person has to be at their worst.
Yeah, we got a little bit of how freaky in nature she was with the mirror scene. Was that last week?
Yes, it was.
Or a few episodes ago, yeah. And now it's just more confirmed that, she may love Jeeb, but it's not like a love between two people.
Right.
It's almost like she just wants to be there for his crash out almost.
Yeah, it's crazy abusive, and also I think that, like I said, it's a relatively common trope in fiction to have this kind of relationship dynamic appear in like darker series. I just think it's interesting for them to bring this dynamic into this show. I honestly didn't expect this out of any Kamen Rider series, really. I haven't seen anything like this before, so it's very interesting to me.
I think it's a nice way to differentiate like this, I guess, like not last arc maybe, but like this section of the story, right? Because she's doing a lot of the heavy lifting. Like the president dad is just kind of sitting at the table.
Yeah, that's very true. She is doing a lot of the heavy lifting.
He's just kind of getting people addicted, like whatever. It's the same as basically like since he took over, it's the same as Stomach Inc. before that, as far as the immediate threat goes, right?
Right.
But having her be like the face of this new arc is very interesting, and I think she's doing a great job.
Yeah, like just her and Jeeb's dynamic are driving a lot of my interest in this plot point.
Absolutely. A little bit. One thing I want to say is they're having like the tea time scene, and Shoma's like, "Well, I'm gonna fight you," and she's like, "Look around. Like, do you really want to fight?" Like, she points her umbrella to like just straight up kill like a human.
Right.
And this is one of my favorite scenes, just in anything like in fiction, when like two characters who absolutely want to kill each other are like in a public space, and so they can't, and so you get like this tense sit down where like all the motives are like on the table, but like no one can draw their gun. I love that.
Ooh, that is an excellent
I love it
point.
so much.
Yeah, I did think about that in the scene as well. It's really cool.
One of the few good scenes in Daredevil and Born Again has them like at a diner, like Daredevil and Kingpin, but obviously like they're dressed like normal like
Right.
suits. And you can just feel how much hatred and like emotion they have between them. And they're both kind of saying like, if you act out, like I'm gonna get you. And they're staring each other down. It's a great scene. You can tell it's from the rewrites because it's a good scene. I'm not gonna shit on Born Again.
You know what? Fair.
We also, I think after that is when we see like the bitter Gavv driver like in the jar,
Yes,
right?
They
Or like
have
a
the scene
test
with
tube.
Nyelv, where his little minion reports to him. It's like, "Hey, we found the guy you're looking for." And he's like, "Well, time to hunt down a traitor."
Yeah, who could that be? I
Yeah,
wonder.
no idea.
I don't know anyone who's betrayed Stomach.
Yeah,
Inc.
no, who would
personally.
do that? They're a huge, like probably multi-million-dollar drug empire.
Yeah, probably someone stupid enough to put drugs in candy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Anyway, Lakia and Hanto break into Suga's old place, and a little detail I like is that Hanto just knows where like the med kit is,
Right.
Because like he's been
He
there.
has, and then he even points that out to Lakia, where he's like, not even gonna comment about how I'm like so familiar with this place. It's a little interesting, like a little fun dynamic.
I think that's a fun. How do I describe it? Like when you know someone's like messed up and you're trying to get them to act normal, and even though their dynamic like their normal dynamic is like hostile, he's still kind of in a good natured way trying to reignite that kind of
Yeah,
tension.
the banter.
Yeah. He's trying to pull him back to what's normal, which is hating him.
No, it's not hate. They love each other.
I don't know. So there's a very tender scene where Hanto's patching up Lakia's wrist. He's like rubbing the goo on it.
Yeah, he just splashes like an entire bottle of fucking alcohol on his wrist. No reaction, by the way. Pretty impressive, not gonna lie.
It reminded me of that scene in Death Note where like Light is washing L's feet.
Did that happen? I don't remember this.
Yeah, it spoilers. It happens right before L dies.
Yeah, spoilers
Yeah.
for a fucking 15-year-old series.
Oh, it's 20.
Oh,
it's
my
20,
God.
my friend.
Don't.
I think it's 2006.
Oh, that hurt
Next year it'll be
me.
20
All
years.
right, well.
Yeah. But apparently that's a callback to like something that happens in the Bible, I think.
Huh.
Either way, it's yaoi.
Yeah,
bait.
it's yaoi. Oh, my. This is yaoi bait.
This is yaoi. bait. Everyone, I've seen. Let's just jump. Taking a sec order to this. I've seen online, at least from like Achilles and stuff, that people are like in comments are like, "You can't call Gavv gay. Like it's not gay." Blah blah blah. They're just
They're
cool.
just
This is the most like queer coded main guys I've seen in Tokusatsu. And I've seen Dawn Brothers,
Ooh,
bro.
yeah, that's
Like
true. Oh man.
I think Shoma and Hanto give like Sonoi and Taro a run for their money.
100%.
And that's not
It's
hyperbole.
not. That's 100% true. He's just spitting facts right now.
Yeah.
This isn't an opinion.
Like you can the thing about Tokusatsu is like they're obviously never going to confirm it. Being queer in Japan is different, that kind of stuff. It's not super acceptable, or maybe it's gotten better, but they're not going to confirm it on like a kids TV show.
Right.
So it kind of leaves it open to you like how much you want to lean into it. Which, so if you're a part of the fan base where you're like, I hate gay people, and you watch this and you're like, they're not gay, you can live your little reality like that. But all of us adults who have come to accept gay people as regular people are gonna look at this and be like, holy shit, they're gay.
And honestly, that's fine. We're in 2025
Mm-hmm.
now. Honestly,
Yeah.
the fact that this dynamic exists and allows us to kind of have our headcanons about it is progression in its own way.
Mm-hmm. Look, I'm just saying, I'm a straight guy. Unfortunately, I have like several male friends that I would think I'm close with. I'm not giving them a piggyback ride unless like their ankle's broken, and I'm definitely not just feeding them with my hands. Bro.
Yeah, no. 100% agree. Like I'm straight. I mean, I have gay tendencies, but that's more in jest.
Who doesn't?
Yeah. Who doesn't?
Who doesn't?
Um
It's a spectrum.
it is
right?
a spectrum.
Everyone's a little.
Very true. It is a spectrum. But the things that Hanto and Shoma have done together, not my cup of tea.
Yeah, no. If sexuality is a spectrum, I'm pretty far on the other side compared to Shoma and Hanto.
Oh yeah, for sure. And honestly, like I think it's cute. It's just watching them interact. It's a good vibe.
I honestly think that it makes Shoma more interesting.
You know what? 10,000%, 10,000%.
Yeah, because I think we'll get into it next episode. I feel like Shoma's really taken a back seat for like the last 10 episodes, maybe.
I mean,
Like outside of being there for like the Hanto arc, I feel like he as a character really hasn't done much.
I feel like maybe they're just giving room to the other characters because he and Hanto did have their big spotlight during the Suga arc.
Right.
And arguably Lakia took a back seat for almost the entirety of that arc.
It's true. I don't know. They're gay.
Yeah, they're gay, 100%. They were helping each other out in Suga's lab.
Yeah. I forget how we get to this point, but Lakia eventually, or Hanto eventually relays, like, yeah, we're the same. Like, we both lost people to stomach. And that gets Lakia to open up about Komel.
Yes, because basically he says to Hanto, like, I lost my brother. And Hanto's like, yeah, I lost my mom. Big whoop. Well, not really big whoop, but like...
No, not that. Big whoop. You're going to cry about it, pussy?
So I lost my mom. I've lost more than you. No. He says we're the same. And yeah, that does get Lakia to open up about Komel. Very tender scene between the two of them.
Yeah, especially for how antagonistic they've been. And I think one thing that I really liked was Hanto praises Komel. He's like, he must have been like exceptional or like really good. And Laki's like, don't fucking like blow smoke up my ass,
Right.
But Hanto's like, no, like I've never met any Granute who's been able to like who changed their mind about harvesting humans.
That's true, because every time
You know?
Shoma's asked, he's like, hey, I'm going to kill you. You going to give up dark treats? And they're like, nah, bro.
They're always like, hell no. It reminded me. Have you seen or read Vinland Saga?
I have not.
Okay. Well, it reminded me of a scene from Vinland Saga because I've been getting recommended reactions to
that's
it.
fun.
So I've just been watching it again. I love Vinland Saga. But in like towards the end of the second season, there's a character who's like goes to the main character. He's like, "Oh, I want to be like you, like strong and kind." And Thorfinn, the main character, is like, I heard you were the first one to like try and call off this fight, like the war. And he's like, that's incredible. Like it took me 15 years to stop fighting.
Oh.
And I think that's just, it's really touching. And it does show that Komel, I mean, obviously he might have killed human beings, but he was trying to change. Like he didn't want to be that way anymore.
Right.
It is commendable, and it's almost more tragic than that. Here we have a Granute who did fall, but then was able to recognize that and was trying to recover himself, and then he gets punished by Stomach Ink.
Right. And in this in kind of the same vein, it's the same reason we like whenever people go to like AA or like whenever they're like going
Hmm.
sober, like people respect that. So in the same vein, it's the same kind of thing where Comel, against the allure of the dark treats, kind of tries to pull back on it, and like you said, it's tragic. He dies for it.
Right. And something about this conversation that I didn't even think about is that Hanto and Lakia are both on not quest for just revenge, but they're both looking specifically for like a Granute.
Oh,
You
that is
know,
very true.
Hanto's looking for the wolf Granute that took his mom, and Lakia's looking for whoever slashed up Komel. And I never thought about that before. That they're both like again. Something that's I think is good about this main cast is that they're all kind of similar, but they have different personalities.
Right.
Like their motivations are similar, so you would understand why they would work together. But they have enough differences that they can clash and bounce off each other in fun ways.
That's very true. It makes the whole team dynamic of really like what are we calling the group? Is there a name for them?
Happy
Yeah, the
Pade.
Happy Pate group. Like that's what makes them interesting
Yeah.
because they are so different. Like just the way they bounce off each other in every different situation is truly interesting.
Yeah, I like our main cast. Sometimes, especially in Rider, like maybe like the tertiary writer or whoever kind of gets left behind, and sometimes scenes where everyone's together kind of feel forced.
Can confirm that there have been quite a few writer series. I'll go ahead and pull up Build in particular because
Hmm.
they have a whole bunch of writers, and towards the end you have like your main four writers all hanging out together, and literally three out of the four are in most situations joke character.
Oh.
Like Build is probably a darker series in general because it's about war and what war does to like communities and to like the people in the war, but they break up a lot of it with the fact that these three tertiary writers are supposed to be comedic relief for that. And I guess like
I see.
there's some there are pros to that, but it does kind of mess with the dynamic of the group as a whole. It doesn't feel great when I'd probably say like 75% of their interactions as a group are all comedy bait.
I get you.
But yeah, that's why Happy Pade. Good vibes. I like this group.
It's a good group of freaks.
Free.
Like even in like writers that I like obviously we glaze Geats all the time, but Geats is weird to me where it feels like Ace and Kawa have like a relationship, and then like Ace and Neon have a relationship, Neon and Kawa have a relationship, but like as a group I don't think they really do anything that I remember that much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's because
Like they're all like friends of friends almost within the group.
right, because I guess ultimately, like they were all in the Desire Grand Prix, like they're all gonna have to go up against each other eventually. So I guess there's that vibe that kind of blocks out them feeling like a cohesive unit.
Mhm.
Huh. I guess I haven't thought too much about their dynamic, but you're 100% right. Huh. Interesting. All right. Well, I mean, I guess one thing Geets didn't do great, right? It can't be perfect.
Right. Nothing's perfect. Nothing is perfect, even Dente,
Oh, yep.
who gets a visit from Lil Niel.
Yeah, and Yelv's like, "Hey, buddy, long time no see. Come back, please."
He brings him a dark treat,
He
doesn't he?
does, and honestly,
That's
like
fucked
that's.
up.
I feel like that's a Chekhov's gun. He's gotta do something with that.
Oh, maybe it'll be like a random crack addict, like that dark treats addict, like breaks in to steal it and ends up killing him.
Nah, it's gonna be a power up. He's gonna involve it in a power up in some way, shape, or form. It'll be crazy.
I feel like it'd be really tragic if like Dente fell into the like addiction from the dark treats.
No, no, no. There's
Like here we
there's no
have
way he eats it.
uh,
I don't believe he's gonna eat it. There's no way.
I don't know, this show gets surprisingly dark
That
sometimes.
is true. But also, like he developed the dark treats, and you know what they say about drug dealers: don't do what you deal, right?
Oh yeah, don't eat your own supply.
Exactly. I would like to believe Dente follows that rule.
Something I never really thought about is that like Dente's here in like the human world. He's like Shoma's great uncle or whatever. He's all of their uncle.
That is an
Like he's
excellent
Nielv's
point. Yeah.
uncle. So like Nielv is like, oh, like I'm sorry you don't want to come back, uncle. Hope something doesn't happen to you.
Sometimes I forget that they're all siblings, and it is the Stomach Inc. family because it's a family
Yeah,
business.
they feel so like disconnected. Ever since Jita got
Yeah,
killed.
like we haven't really gotten anything of Glata. Longo is literally just a blank
Oh my
slate.
god, shut up.
Like the family doesn't feel like a family because we've only really interacted with a few of them at a time.
Yeah, because it felt like they were obviously around, and then Shoma killed Jita, and then they kind of really took a back seat. Like we got a bunch of like one-off part-timers, and then the Suga stuff.
Yeah, the Suga stuff. So generally speaking, like we've already talked about this before, family hasn't really done shit.
Yeah, we've talked about this before. I think when Gavv finally, it's all said and done, I think the biggest weakness is gonna be its main villains.
See,
I think they haven't had enough
yeah, they
presence.
haven't had enough presence, and like I said, the general common writer trope is they introduce a new villain towards the end, and then
Hmm.
they're like the big bad. Like even with Geats, they introduce, oh God, what the fuck, uh,
One of
Gazer
Oh
two,
yeah, you know what? Geats has a main villain problem
yeah,
too. All the like gazers and the all the game masters and stuff.
yeah, like
By the end, I was like, I don't even know who that is and why he's
yeah,
fighting.
like
Well, I knew
the
why he was
last
fighting.
administrator, like I had no investment into him.
A zero.
So I have a feeling that I hope my expectation is low, but my hopes are high that Gav doesn't have that issue because, the family's been around since the beginning. They haven't really done anything. They've got to do something before the end of the series.
I think as long as a member of like the family is the final boss villain, I think it'll be still better than if they just introduce someone random right for the ending,
Very true.
right?
Yeah, that's true.
Because like sure, like if it's Lango, then like yeah, he sucks ass. He sucks the whole season. But at least it's not like a bait and
Yeah.
switch right before the
Honestly,
end.
I would consider it a win if the president gets like 5 more episodes tops.
I don't. You know what? I have no idea where that is gonna go. Like I don't know if he's gonna come and fight, or if he's gonna get like backstabbed by Nielv and Lango and them.
I can kind of foresee that. Like, I know Lengo hasn't got a single thought in his little brain, but like
Yeah.
surely there's a little bit of the coup in the back of his head.
Mm. Yeah. You know what? Now that I think about it, I have no idea how like the the Jeeves stuff is gonna resolve either.
With him dying.
With well, yeah, but I mean, she fought when she first showed up, right?
Yeah,
Lizelle.
Lizelle did fight, and then she fucking rolled them.
Yeah, so I assume we're probably gonna at least have a fight with Lizelle. Maybe like they fight Lizelle, and when she gets beaten, the president gets pissed off and comes to Earth.
That is a possibility.
Hmm.
Yeah, we'll
Anyway,
see.
so yeah, Neil shows up, threatens Dente. He fucks off. Dente is scared.
Yeah, he's like, well, gotta finish before I die. He can see it coming from a million miles away, and honestly, we see it coming too.
Oh yeah, death flags, big and red. The Hanto's little Gochizo comes back to Suga's place, and he's like, "Yo, I found the guy."
Yep, and they go after the guy. Shoma has a little bit of a
Oh,
scene. He stumbles upon like I think it's Longo, one of Longo's minions. Like he's trying to pick up like
yeah,
a shipment of the acrylics, and then we get to see what Caramel does. That's cool, I guess.
yeah. He just shoots big fucking cum squares that make you sticky.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know why they had this scene. It really wasn't anything. I guess it was just to show off Caramel.
I really don't get what the point of like the non-form gochizos are. Like we had the popcorn stuff, and then now we have the caramel. Also, that the fucking Candyman that gave him the caramel, I thought was gonna have to do. I thought he was gonna do something with like the form we get next episode.
Right.
Because that's like a bag, and then this is the guy who keeps giving him like candy. But no, so I don't know why creepy Candyman was there.
Yeah, no, Creepy Candyman was around for 2 episodes, and typically when you get a character that's around for 2 episodes or more, they get more screen time. But no, he just kind of fucks off, I guess. Who knows if we'll see him again?
If he's not anyone, then that's the weirdest like random side character I've seen in Tokusatsu. Because everything about the scenes he was in and the way he was filmed made me think he was gonna be important at least.
Right.
But no,
I guess we'll see. I
at
mean,
least not yet. I guess,
this
but
is
yeah,
32. They've got 18 episodes max. They'll figure something out. Question mark.
they'll figure something out. Now, speaking about fucking Shoma, I'm heated. I'm gonna go into this. Look,
Ooh,
I want
all
to say
right.
right off the bat, I'm not a power scaling guy. I think people who are like, could Goku beat fucking Sage Mode Naruto? Like, I don't care. I think every universe has its own rules. It's kind of just a waste of your time to pit them against each other, but it's fun, so I know why people
Yeah.
do it. But I need to fucking complain
All
about
right.
this because several episodes ago, it took Shoma in fucking what is this stupid shit called Blizzard Sorbet
Yeah.
with 2 fucking K-King minions, right?
Oh,
No,
yeah.
3. It was Shoma and 2 K-King minions against 3 red fucking Lango minions. Couldn't beat
Yeah,
him.
that's true.
Couldn't beat him. Could not fucking handle them. His newest, strongest form with backup couldn't take him. And then this fucking episode, like 3 episodes later, Popping Gummy beats a red minion?
Ooh.
What is going on? Am I crazy?
You're not.
His
crazy.
base form, his weakest form can beat 1, but his strongest form with backup can't handle it.
Okay.
What?
Okay. I get where you're coming from. I see what you're saying. I'm gonna play a little bit devil's advocate here.
You think Popping Gummy is stronger than Blizzard Sorbet?
No. That's not what I think is going on. What I think is going on is, Longo is not the CEO anymore. He's just kind of like, he's the guy that manages distribution now. I don't think he's in a good...
his minions got demoted?
I don't think he's in a good mental state, and that's affecting the quality of his minions.
I don't know.
That's me.
I
That's me giving them a chance at making something make sense about what you talked about. Because I 100% agree. The power scaling is fucked.
I couldn't believe it because I remembered in that episode of the podcast where I ranted about him, Blizzard Sorbet, fighting the red minions.
Right.
And then in this episode, it happened again.
But he's fighting him in base form, and he's like,
Popping Gummy?
Yeah, Popping Gummy.
Popping Gummy
with caramel jizz.
can beat 1. He fucking glued him up with caramel. You're telling me caramel, Popping Gummy, is stronger than fucking Blizzard Sorbet with 2 K-King whip soldiers? Come on!
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. I think it's bullshit.
Do they have to have like a Popping Gummy quota? Like that suit has to be on screen every certain amount of episodes, and they're like, "Oh fuck, it's gotta be Popping Gummy for this."
I mean, it's main form. They gotta let main form shine every now and then, right?
But he doesn't. It's not even a struggle.
No, it's not.
It's not even a struggle. He shoots the fucking caramel. The guy gets glued up, and then he fucking finishes him.
With kicking Gummy.
No, Popping Gummy. Oh, kicking Gummy. Yeah.
No, it's stupid.
I thought you said K-King.
Oh, no.
I'd
feel
incensed.
better if he pulled out K-King for that. But he didn't.
At least then it'd be like, oh, I guess maybe like Blizzard Sorbet is not, or K-King is stronger than Blizzard Sorbet. Like, I don't know. This is just stupid. This is just fucking basic ass Shoma can beat a red minion.
Yeah, no.
That's the most I felt in this batch of episodes.
You see, that's something, I guess. Yeah, no. Shoma is
that happens.
Not doing good for the past couple of episodes.
No. Oh my god! And then we see him struggle next. Moving on. That happens.
We go back to Hanto and Lakia. They found their guy.
Yeah, they find he's not a mantis, right? They call him a shrimp or a lobster.
I don't know. He's got mucus. It's weird. He's got he's got praying mantis arms, but like mucus spit, sticky mucus spit.
Yeah, he spits the boogers.
It's a little weird. But I don't know what.
Lakia, I don't know. He's a freak. Lakia gets really mad, obviously, because he thinks he killed Komel. And the guy's like, if you beat me, maybe I'll tell you if I killed him. Which is not the right thing to say to a guy who wants to murder you.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely not. It's like famous last words.
We get it's like a fun fight in like construction equipment.
Yeah, super dynamic.
Yeah, but Lakia is like losing focus because obviously he's like tunnel vision on revenge. And then Hanto is like, calm down, like focus. Like, I'll be your shield. And he like stands in front of him and he's taking all the fucking mucus bullets the guy has.
Yeah, no, this is like definitely one of the biggest reasons why they're definitely gay. Hanto would take jizz stains for Lakia.
Oh god. It's very I would swoon if someone did that for me.
Honestly, yeah. It's very romantic, very heroic.
It's very heroic. Good for our boy Hanto. As anyone who listens to the podcast know, we are the #1 Hanto fan club supporter.
Oh yeah, no, Hanto's the best. 10 out of 10. Wouldn't change anything.
That's our boy. Not a damn thing. So he's blocking all the bullets, and then that lets Vram get in close. And as he's got the blade to the guy's throat, he's like, I don't know who Komel is. I'm sorry.
No, he doesn't say sorry. He's like, joke's on you. I don't know shit. And then
And
Lakia
Lucky is like,
the die.
oh well,
The
die.
terror.
Yeah. And he kills him, and he gets his non-revenge.
Oh,
Here's my little crack brain theory,
right.
right? So, just looking at the way things are shaking out, I think, every member of the Stomach family is going to have like a one-on-one fight.
Right.
I think it's I think in my little brain that because I think Nielv is going to be the ultimate villain, I think he's going to go against Shoma. I think
Okay.
that Lango, who was in charge of who was in charge of the company during the time Hanto's mom was taken, I think Hanto is going to fight Lango.
Ooh, okay. Interesting take.
And then who does that leave for Lakia?
Yeah, that's
The sister with the big
yeah.
scythe,
No, that's 100%. That's right.
whose brother was killed by a big slash.
Yeah, it's definitely
Lakia.
Glada versus Lakia. However, counterpoint. I think that Hanto goes up against Nyelv.
Really? Because they're both. He's the experimented one.
He's the
and
experimented one. It would be a fitting end to the overarching Suga arc. I know like he's dead, the arc's over, but like it would finish up with the fact that Hanto was experimented on and Nyelv's like the mad scientist brother. And I know you don't care much for Longo. I know you think Nyelv is endgame, but some little hope in my heart they do something with Longo and he becomes the big bad and it's 1v1 Shoma versus Longo.
Listen, I think that your reasoning for Hanto versus versus Nielv makes a lot more sense than the final fights that I laid out.
Uh-huh.
But that would mean that Lango is the final boss, and I cannot accept that.
No.
Like I think the way you laid it out is 100% more likely to happen. But I will not. I refuse to believe in that.
No, we're gonna get a fake out moment where Longo's standing in front of Shoma and they're about to go ham, and then Lizelle just stabs Longo in the back. She's like, "Haha, surprise! I'm the last boss."
It'd be better. It'd be better. She's already way more in the 3 episodes since she showed up. She's more interesting than Longo's ever been.
Toei, hire me. Toei, hire us.
God, I don't know. God, I fucking hate Longo.
Yeah, you do.
He just does nothing. He does. Oh, next episode.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so everything's resolved. They go back to Happy Pate.
Pudding party.
Lakia buys. Yeah, Lakia buys everybody pudding. Hanto is like, I don't like sweets. You know that. And then Lakia apologizes to Sachika for yelling at her, which is very nice. I'm glad that wasn't like thrown away.
Yeah, no, it was a very nice.
I'm glad
detail.
that was brought up.
Lakia is being earnest in making sure that Sachika is chill, because he this line stood out to me. I wrote it down. She's worth it. Honestly, true, yeah. Very true.
Because Hanto's like, why the fuck does Sachika get an apology and I don't when I'm taking bullets for you? And Lucky is just like, you don't know, idiot. And I like that they're still back to it. Like, it's not like, oh, they're friends now. Like, it's still like they're fucking mad.
Honestly, this is, for me, I love this scene because it's like, welcome to the throuple.
I don't know. You say that, but I don't feel like it's a throuple. I think it's more like, okay, now my boyfriend's best friend doesn't hate my guts.
Where Lakia is the best friend and Shonto is the endgame.
Of course.
You know what? 10 out of 10. You're right.
Of course. Even though I personally in my ships I do like bickering a lot, but I just think there's so much built up between Shoma and Hanto that I don't think there's any room for Lakia.
See, you'd think that, but Shoma is a very loving and caring person. He's got enough heart for both of them.
But I mean, there's been a little bits of teases for like Lakia Sachika.
That's true. They've had a lot of like tender moments too. They did have that episode where Lakia is like doing work for Happy Pate. It's very cute. Very cute dynamic, and maybe he needs something to distract himself from his obsessive, brother's killer obsession.
And you know what? Sachika deserves fucking something.
She does.
I guess we'll talk about this a little bit. I saw from Keza Henshin, she's a tokutuber, that apparently like there's a famous commercial in Japan where like all the main writers from every show do it for like this vitamin drink. And it basically, the one for Gavv finally came out, basically confirms that Sachika is not going to be a writer. Which I think at this point was pretty obvious. Right. And I think while in the show, like I think it's fine that Sachika as a character is not a writer. I do think it's really disappointing that we just don't have a female writer in Gavv at all.
Yeah.
I think it is kind of a step back. I think we just had in the season before the first ever female secondary writer. Not in a good show, but
Yeah.
talk about a jump forward and then like a huge step back. I think that there are female toku fans. I think that families it's a show for kids, but a lot of kids have siblings. Like there's
Right.
just because your main market is boys doesn't mean they don't have like a younger or older sister who would also watch the show,
For sure.
I think that especially now as we've seen with Sentai where we're only getting one like girl on a team.
Yeah. Not a fan of this pattern either.
Yeah, I think it's just disappointing. And I think a lot of the community is just like, oh, whatever, like it doesn't matter, like Sachiko's never gonna be a writer anyway, blah blah blah. Which like while I agree that at this point I think it'd be kind of weird to just make Sachika a writer. I think it would be like a throwaway thing. Like it wouldn't be she wouldn't be like how should I say this? Because I think, we are more towards the end game. I think making her a writer this late would just kind of be a
That's
waste.
fair. She wouldn't have enough screen time for sure.
She wouldn't have enough screen time. She hasn't had enough like build up. I guess she would be more focused on saving like the humans versus stopping
Right.
Stomach. But I mean, they have teased a lot about her background, or not teased, but like, what is her background? Like, why does she behave this way? Like, we saw her grandma's rich. Like, what's that about? Why does she try so hard to be like really nice to everybody? Does she have like past trauma? I think there's stuff that they could have explored with Sachika, and I hope they do, even if they don't make her a writer. But just not having any female writers is pretty
Which
disappointing.
is weird because like and not even like just last series we had the secondary female writer, but there's always like at least one tertiary female writer.
Yeah.
For Revice we had yeah,
Jean,
Jean.
is that how you say it?
We had Jean.
Yeah.
For Geats we had Naga.
Nago.
Before
01 had like the cheetah,
yeah.
is it Dash Cheetah or something?
Oh, jeez, man, I'm drawing a blank, but yes, it is Cheetah.
Yeah. Saber too. There's
Saber, they have
I don't
a couple of female writers, but the primary one is,
mm.
I mean, she starts off evil, she joins the team later. I think her name is like, it's something in Spanish. I can't remember.
Yeah, it's like Spanish for
Yeah,
sword, I think. It's not, is it the same one they use for bleach? It doesn't
doesn't
matter.
matter. The point is, like, they've had tertiary female writers for every other series before this, like literally every other series before this. So it's kind of weird that they're choosing now not to have one.
I'll say this, I'm sure people would get mad. In my personal opinion, I don't see any reason why Lakia couldn't have been a female.
Oh,
Like
interesting. Okay.
just stripping the character down. I don't see a specific reason why it had to be a guy other than obviously male guy, like the guy writers sell
Right.
toys. But I think you could have easily just made that like a female. Well, also we don't see enough female Granoots in general,
We
right? I
don't.
think
The only one
before
we've seen is
Lizelle,
Lizelle and
it was
Gita.
just Glotta.
Aglada, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and Gita, yeah. So three. But again, I think that other than marketing, I think there's no reason why that couldn't, like, Lakia couldn't have been a female character.
Right.
I like the actor. I like his performance. I just no slight on him. But I think that if you were making the show and you're like, oh shit, like we got to put like a female writer in here, and you're like, oh, it'd probably be too stuffed now. Like, there's no reason that one of them couldn't have been a female writer.
Yeah, excellent point. I mean, okay. With some hope attached to this, like Sachika does
Mhm.
have baggage to unpack, so
Right.
maybe she'll get like a little bit of a mini arc, maybe 3 or 4 episodes where we dive into that, and maybe they will find an
Hmm.
opportunity to present her as a writer at that point because 18 episodes isn't a lot to work with, but also there is maybe a little bit of leeway to work with because they're fighting Stomach Inc. They're fighting the president of Granite World. Like it's gonna be. I feel like it's leading up to possibly something large scale where they need the firepower. So maybe they do tap into her as a writer, but likelihood of it isn't
Maybe.
terribly high.
I think even if that what you were saying was gonna happen, like she'd be a writer for like 2 or 3 episodes maybe,
Yeah.
and then it's just kind of like, well, why? Would they spend the budget on a new suit just for that little bit? I don't know.
Well,
I
okay.
do. Again, I think that Sachika has a lot of stuff you can explore. Like, I think, unfortunately, she's just been kind of like the background team mom,
Right.
But you could definitely flesh out her personality traits into like backstory to have character focused episodes. And I hope we do, because I think she could be a really interesting character, even if she's not putting on like a power suit or whatever.
Right.
But
Well, okay, here's the thing about that too. What I've noticed that they've been doing a lot for not only just Kamen Rider but in Sentai, they'll take like their secondary or backup characters and then they'll flesh them out in supplementary content.
oh, what are they called? It's like there's a specific term for the Kamen Rider
The
ones, right?
Outsiders, I think it was,
Outsiders?
or
Oh,
Outsiders
well,
was
I'm
the
thinking of something
series.
different then.
Um,
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. I
Yeah, like Gaim has like a billion of them for like every
Yeah,
writer in Gaim
every writer in
almost.
Gaim has one. I know Drive for each of the bad guys that were eventually turned into good guys. They each became writers in their own supplementary series.
Oh.
In Revice, they flesh out Jean a little bit more. I think in what is it? In Geats, they have a couple of other supplementary movies. I think as well. So that's likely what's going to happen. If Sachika were to get like a highlight as a writer, it's probably going to be in one of those supplementary like series.
Oh,
Guidance.
Guidance.
That's the term.
They're called
Right.
Guidance, yeah. They're basically like a little OVA about one character usually,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I think, it could happen. I think likelihood is not in her favor.
Yeah.
But I just hope that, Kamen Rider Zetsu has a female writer and that she's prominent and interesting.
Yeah. And no, Zetsu not be gotcha because maybe we'll actually
Yeah.
watch it and watch the female writer shine.
Well, Dominic, unfortunately, I think we've already agreed to watch it just by making the podcast.
Okay. Fair.
Yeah. I think, the thing about tokusatsu shows is that they always refresh like after a year. So while I think that it's disappointing that Gavv doesn't have female representation, we got like 3 months left and then it's brand new. So maybe the next one they'll be treated better.
We can hope.
We can hope. And that's always my hope. We've talked about it before. Female Red, female Six, more female writers. We started having like non-binary writers too, which is cool. Or not writers, but in Sentai at least we had Violet.
Oh yeah,
and King
very
Ogu.
true.
Mm-hmm. So I think, if cry about it if you want, but I think representation, obviously it helps if you're a kid and you're struggling with stuff in your life to see someone on TV that is like
Right,
you.
it matters.
And while I'm not going to be like, oh, I think this Japan-made show should feature non-Japanese races, I think they can at least expand upon like gender stuff.
You you bring up like the non-Japanese races. I think about like
Mhm.
those TikToks I see of like those Chinese tokusatsu shows where there's like that one white guy.
There's a white. That's
There's
cool.
a white guy in like Chinese tokusatsu series. He's like, oh god, I forget what color it
Is
is.
he always like, what's going on? Oh, he's part
Yeah,
of the
he's part
team.
of the team, which is I think is
Whoa.
great and really funny.
Is it like what's his name, Shalma in New York City or whatever? The guy, like the white guy walking around who can speak Chinese.
That's the thing. Like in
Yeah.
the little TikToks that I see, he's speaking like perfect English. I don't hear him speak a lick of
Oh.
Chinese.
That's a fun life. Like, yeah, I'm an actor in China.
I mean, okay. Another thing, because like I've noticed that there was a particular black actor in some Kamen
Mhm.
Rider movies. They would reuse this guy to high hell. He's always like he's always like one of like the little minions that they fight at the very beginning of the movie, and then he's never seen again. But they constantly reuse this black actor. It's so funny.
Is he's different than the black guy in Geats, the security guard?
I think that's the same actor.
That's so sick. I want to be that guy.
Honestly,
Yeah, like I'm the guy who gets punched by Kamen Riders every 2 months.
Honestly, that'd be a great job. I would take that job
Perfect.
100%.
Where's their guidance?
Where is their guy?
They teased those two security guys having rider
They
forms,
did.
and then they never showed it to us. I want a guidance for those guys.
Didn't we get to see them in their rider forms briefly, and then they get like wiped by the villain of the week?
I don't think so. I think like they're henching and then they get blasted or
That
something.
sounds more like what
Because
would
I know,
happen.
yeah, I don't think we ever got to see them transform. You know, not maybe not sensitive having the black guy be Black Panther and the white guy being White Tiger.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah. But I want to see it. It was cool. Everyone was hyped.
Everybody likes
And they just got
representation. Like things like this matter.
exactly. Think about how excited you were when you saw that white guy have like a little driver thing.
Exactly.
And then imagine if you were like queer or a girl for like a second before you start bitching about it.
Yeah, exactly. Representation matters in these shows, and that's why we bring it up.
Mm-hmm. You know what? Media in general, like anything you watch, if you can see parts of yourself in it, you're like, ooh. And for a large section of people, they don't have that all the time.
Yeah, that's very true.
So maybe when they're like, oh, cool, I'm getting it. And you're like, well, whatever, it doesn't matter. I've had it every single minute of my entire life. Maybe like sit down
Yeah.
for a second. Chill the fuck
Chill
out.
the fuck out. Man.
I promise
Amazing.
you can relate to women and and black people. I promise you.
Wiser words have never been spoken.
It's almost like we're all experiencing the hells of the human condition at the same time.
Almost.
Almost.
You know,
Oh, just open your mind.
great thing about this show, just to transfer back in, we have representation for drug addicts because at the very end of the episode, we see the CEO of the large company that they introduce.
President
Yeah,
Shrimphead.
President Shrimphead, President Cockroach Face is eating dark treats, and he's like, "Dear Lord, yummy! I can't get enough of these.
He's like, I can't eat anything else anymore.
Like, I need at least one of these a day. Like, where the fuck are you guys getting this shit?"
And the president's like, well, let me show you.
Yelv walks in, and he's like, "We call them humans."
Well, first of all, the president's like, what the fuck is that?
It's like, what the fuck is that? Further proof that grunnies have no idea that humans exist.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a pretty interesting little plot point.
It's kind of crazy now that you think about it. Like, does the majority of Granute World even know that they have interdimensional travel?
0% chance they do. Like, absolutely, Stomach Inc. was the only one taking advantage of going into the human world and finding out about this new world.
That's an insane technological achievement to keep to yourself.
I mean, it is a dark company. Dare I say it, a black company?
Ooh. I almost said a real company. I probably shouldn't.
You know what? That's fine.
Amazon. That's big enough that people know. You know.
Indeed. They love abusing their talents.
Oh, hey, well, employees.
You're right.
I didn't say the other company.
I didn't say the other company. They love abusing their part-timers.
Yeah, okay, 33.
33.
We immediately jump to that same shrimphead president getting the black, bitter Gavv driver transplanted into himself.
Which is insane, because as a bigwig, you would figure he doesn't want to get his hands dirty. But I guess he's so addicted to dark treats.
He's so
he
addicted.
literally offered his body.
That's true, yeah. It is kind of like a gross inverse of Hanto, right? Like, willing to undergo surgery to fight off the Granutes from stealing humans versus willing to undergo surgery to keep getting human juice.
That's a weird parallel that I didn't draw until now. And honestly, interesting dynamic for sure.
Yeah, it makes me wish that Hanto fought him instead of Shoma. But that's just because I like Hanto more.
You know, Hanto's the best character in this show. So, you know, that's fine. That's understandable.
Oh, and a little detail I noticed when he's going through the surgery, they have like a little tablet pulled up, and you can just pick whatever human form you want.
Yep, they have their own form.
Which
of
I never really
creation.
thought about.
They're playing,
they're
playing Baldur's Gate 3, but in real life.
He picks a tiefling bard.
It is a tiefling bard. He is a little bit of a troll.
He is wearing like a little like Shakespeare like theater shirt.
Yeah, but his pants
I
do
didn't
not
think about
match.
that.
His pants are weird and purple and yellow.
Oh, of course
and, like,
not.
They're really fucking weird.
Yeah, the pants remind me of like you know, I don't even remember what the pants look like. Never mind.
They're kind of like disco pants, but like really shittily colored disco pants. They don't have like the flared out. They don't have the flared out bottom, but they give me like those vibes of just like the weird guy that is always dancing.
Huh, disco and dancing sounds like the Showa era.
Oh,
Maybe we'll
no!
get back to that.
Okay. I have so many things to talk about there.
Oh, we see Dente trying to work on something after being threatened. He has like a melted glass
Yeah, it
jar.
shows them a whole bunch of materials. You get a little pine cone, you get a little jizz jar. Like there's so much all
Yeah,
around.
he's like, I gotta make this work for Shoma. And then we get a little scene with everyone's fucking favorite loser, Lango, where he's saying that production and like securement of human presses is
Yeah,
up
back.
since the Red Gavs
Yeah,
came
that's
out. And
crazy.
literally, how?
Clearly, Jita and Jeeb were just not doing their jobs effectively because apparently
That's
Longo is
crazy.
just like, all right, I'm gonna steer the ship back,
There's 3 writers
and production is
dedicated
up.
solely to stopping this. And production is way up. So you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Lango's a business genius.
Maybe he's a business genius. Also, maybe the writers not as effective as we thought they were being.
Yeah, maybe they fucking suck.
Okay, to be fair, we have mentioned before that they operate purely on vibes and social media posts. They don't have any reasonable way to hunt these guys down.
It's true, and we even see in this episode like Shoma and Sachika are going to like clean up this building or whatever, and it's just a building, and Shoma's like, "Stand back," and he rushes in, and he's like, "It looked like it could be where they have press places." It's like, bro.
Also, I think this is a little interesting, like nod to Shoma's current mental state, because does also mention like, "Wow, you're always thinking about this, aren't you?" Because like
Mm.
it's one of those things where it's a good character for moment for Sachika because she notices these little things, these little details that are just kind of like it would take someone that is really empathetic and really like who really cares about their friends to notice these subtle changes in people. So another great character moment for Sachika to build on like just how good of a person she is, and also once again disappointing that she likely won't reach her full potential.
Right. And well, she does have a nice pet though. She takes out her snacks and feeds her little doggy
Oh
Shoma.
yeah, no, he's 100% getting Pavlov dog into working for Happy Pare.
It might be that same scene from earlier, but Lango is talking to Niel, and he's basically like, "You're working with the president, aren't you? You're gonna betray me."
Yes.
And Niel's like, "Really? Like, you really think that, you big
What we
idiot?
do?
Like, look what I'm, yeah, like, look what I'm working on." And he has the Bake Magnum.
Right, and it's the fact that he still
It's
got that. It's
open.
open means that likely our bad guys gonna get more power up. So maybe okay, maybe this is Lango's ticket to victory.
Yeah, I think Lango might make himself form with the Bake Magnum.
That'd be kind of sick.
Because if you look at the Big Magnum, it's already kind of Lango colored. Like he's always wearing like that chocolate
That's
coat.
true. It's chocolate, a little bit
The
red, a
Magnum is
little bit
brown.
magenta.
I can see it.
I can see it. You know what? Lango's got a door opening up for him. He's just got to get his foot in that door.
You gotta make your move, Lango.
Otherwise, Yelv's gonna take this form and you're fucked.
No, you gotta make a move. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? You're
Sorry,
right.
fuck you, Lango. Yeah, Lango get fucked.
This is Yelv's form. Lango just he gets
This is
nothing.
Niel's form. Was I saying Lango earlier? I meant Niel. Oh damn it! No, fuck. Lango's not gonna get the Big Magnum. Go fuck himself.
Bait.
Niel has like the brown chocolate
Yeah,
coat.
Yelv's
you know.
gonna get hella baked.
Yeah. Lango's gonna get cooked.
He's gonna get.
So the shrimp head president, he finds Hanto. Hanto looking for Shoma's mom still, trying to find where she lived.
Non-consensually.
Non-consensually. Can't wait for this to blow up their relationship a third time. He gets led over to just some random place where then the shrimp head transform. Or no, he
No,
doesn't.
he's just an
transform,
old.
right? He
He's just an
attacks
old
him.
dude. He's like, hey, you seem to be looking for somebody.
Is this where he's racist?
Is this where? No. Well, a little bit before
Or is-
that, he's
yeah.
racist in this scene. But before that, we did note while we were watching it how Hanto's just kind of stupid at the moment.
Yeah.
Weird guy walks up
Hanto-
to him, super suspicious. He's like, "Oh, you're looking for a guy? Or are you looking for somebody? She's this way." And I was like, "All right, bet."
But then, something he says something about like how you're stupid for a spice.
yeah,
or something.
it's
Like he
like-
calls people just spice.
Yeah, he refers to humans as just
Which
a
is
spice, which, yeah, like you said, super racist.
Oh,
Not
shit.
even
Yeah, fuck
super
this guy.
dehumanizing, biggest piece of shit.
Mhm.
Real drug addict energy.
And then he sticks something in the ground. He makes a bunch of teeth pop out.
I think that's just
or
his
like
base
centipede
power.
legs.
Yeah, it's just him.
Yeah, he doesn't
He
transform,
doesn't.
so I guess he can just do that. That hurts Hanto, who goes to Happy Pare all fucked up, and he lets him know what happened, and then Shoma's gonna go out looking for him, I
Yep.
think.
And then Sachika is like, well, can't take him to a regular doctor.
Yeah, Sachiko's like, first of all, Hanto, like, you're not going anywhere. Like, sit the fuck
Yep.
down. And then she's like, okay, I'm gonna go to Dente and see if he has like some kind of cream or something, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I guess he's so wounded that he would need a doctor.
Right. Which I guess is supposed to show off how quote unquote powerful this new guy is. Did he get a name? I don't remember his name. I'll be real.
I don't remember. I'll be real. Spoiler alert, it's not going to matter by the end of the episode.
Very true.
So we get a little scene of Lakia teaching his puddings about rock tastes.
That was honestly, I thought that scene was just kind of funny. He's like, "Hey, I need you to find food for me. These rocks taste better than these."
No. Is that what he's doing? I thought he was just teaching them, like, look, the rocks with striations.
Yeah, no,
better.
I'm assuming he's teaching them to hunt for food because probably he's just finding random rocks like, oh, these rocks are just kind of boring. I need them to find these rocks for me.
He's so lazy, he can't even look for rocks.
Look, man's hungry, doesn't want to do shit. I get it.
Dadu. Well, his little lunch break gets interrupted by Shrimp Head.
Yeah, and who eats a rock, by the way, and he's like, not up to my taste. A little weird, actually.
And he's like, I can't go back after having the dark treats. And then I think we didn't mention it, but Hanto pulls up his stomach and sees like the bitter Gavv or everything.
And he's like, oh shit, that's a bitter Gavv.
Mm-hmm. And oh yeah, and at first at Happy Party, they're like, how could, like, was he a clone of Shoma?
Which I thought was like, ridiculous.
No. It's like, no, like,
he's an old man.
He just had it. Yeah. Anyway, so he transforms using Cookie. At this point, we've only seen Cookie through the Bake Magnum.
Yeah, and even the transformation sequence is different. Because with the Bake Magnum,
what
is it? The dough wrapped around his body and then it baked from like the heating lamp or the heating element.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas
the Easy Bake.
Yeah, the Easy Bake. When he transformed with the bitter Gavv, it's like cookies in a tray, very Chips Ahoy-esque. Get launched into the air.
Yeah, they just flew up and smashed down on him, right?
Yeah, and it looks exactly the same too. Like same exact.
Yeah,
design.
still a bad suit.
Not a good suit.
But he is stronger than Vram, right? He's like beating the shit
stronger
out of him.
than Vram. Which I mean, I guess at this point, if we're talking about power scaling, Vram has been kind of falling off.
He has, and even though he's had like 2 arcs that focused on him, he hasn't gotten any new like pudding or anything.
Yeah, which is weird because like when you see Dente like look at some of his products, one of the things he's holding is an empty pudding cup. Like even when Hanto got his upgrade with what is it, the frappe?
The Brastrom gear?
Yeah, he got the Brastrom gear, he got frappe.
Oh, yeah.
Like what Dente was developing for was the pudding cup, which gives me the impression that.
But I mean, he did say he couldn't replicate it.
Right, he couldn't replicate it, but then he does want to create his own thing, which I guess is what frappe is. No, frappe?
No, frappe
Yeah,
came out of Shoma.
So I guess the first thing that Dente actually makes is whatever this form is in this episode that we'll get to. But I'm under the impression that before Dente goes, he's going to make Lakia an upgrade. He has to.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I assume that Lakia is going to get some kind of power up. I just don't know where. It could be from Dente, sure.
Yeah.
But then I don't know. Then I think it's kind of lame then that Dente made like 2 of the super forms, like the final forms.
I mean, supposedly he's a
genius. Shoma's feel less
I feel
special.
like it makes sense.
I wonder if somehow like Lakia's final form will be something that Njelv makes and like they steal it from him or something. I don't know.
Spicy. I mean, technically Njelv did develop both of.
Yeah, he made the Rastrom.
He made the Rastrom gear. He made pudding. He made jelly. So
right, yeah. I don't know. I just think it's more interesting than if Dente just makes everyone's final.
That's
form.
fair.
Although I mean, Hanto's, I guess Shoma makes it. I don't know. It's
weird. Is weird. But at the same time, power scaling, Vram getting left behind.
Get started. Yeah, Vram's getting left behind. Sachika shows up to Dente's and tells him about how hurt Hanto is. And she notices, well, first of all, Dente's like on the floor. He's like barely breathing.
Yeah, because apparently it runs in the family that they just collapse of exhaustion.
Yeah. And she notices that he's missing like his teeth in his stomach belly. Or stomach mouth.
Yeah, which is something I didn't notice on his design. It wasn't super prominent.
Yeah, I didn't even notice he had teeth down
Yeah.
there, to be
And then
honest.
to notice them missing was kind of disorienting.
Yeah, you just see like the vacant gum
Ugh,
holes. It's kind
it's kind
of.
of making me uncomfortable thinking about it.
But we learned that basically, well, because he couldn't have access to materials from Granite World, he just ground up his own teeth to make this new Gochizo for Shoma. And he says, like, he really wants to. Sachika's like, what? Like, why would you do this? Like, wouldn't it hurt? And he's like, I want to do right by Shoma, and like, I want him to stop the dark treat stuff because I'm responsible for it.
Right.
So it's very good Dente scene. I think both you and I kind of expected him to die this episode.
I mean, he had all of the red flags in the prior episode. He even, like, when he's talking to Nyev, he's like, the only thing I want to do now is make sure that my grand nephew is happy.
I think he still could die, probably. But I would say if he doesn't die soon, then I think he's not going to die. That's my intuition.
That's fair. I'm like I
Mhm.
said, I'm still under the impression that he's going to make an upgrade for Vram, but also
Mhm.
like all the red flags. At least watching the episode, we did think he was going to die by the end of this episode.
For sure. Well, I don't even think we mentioned Shoma shows up on the bike to help out Lakia.
Oh yeah, and then Shoma's like, "Hey, we're gonna fight." Goes base form.
No, he goes.
Oh, he does go
Sorbet.
Blizzard Sorbet, and it's not enough. He's
Yeah.
getting wiped.
It's not enough. He's getting mopped, and then Sachika shows up with the new Dente Gochizo and throws it to him, and he puts it in. And it's fucking. First of all, it's huge.
It's huge. Can't even close the mouth around it. I thought that was a really funny and interesting detail.
You barely push the mouth down. This thing is so big, and it doesn't do anything.
Nope.
And so it gets knocked out of the driver when he gets hit. But then we're doing that same kind of thing from the Frappe episode where Shoma's fighting unmorphed, unhenshined. Not as cool, in my opinion, at least. I
No,
think we
it
agreed on
wasn't
that.
really a hype moment like versus Suga, but he did get
Mhm.
a cool little scene, interesting little part of the fight where he's about to get slashed through the stomach, but the Gavv bites
Oh,
down
yeah.
on the sword and catches it before he gets sliced.
Yeah. That was a cool moment. I wonder if it's just because of like the President Shrimp Head being like a nobody that makes it less epic. Because like Suga we knew and we hated.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, it's a cool unmorph fight. Obviously, like they do these before a power up. And we see like Sachika next to Sachika, there's like a billion Gochizo on the floor.
yeah, which is weird because, like you had pointed out when we were
Mhm.
watching it, why else? Why are they there?
Yeah. So, well, she also mentions that when she throws it to Shoma that like Dente said it's as strong as like 100 Gochizo or something.
Yeah, 100 times stronger than a normal Gochi, though.
Yeah, and then the next scene we see about 100 Gochizo on the floor next to
Yeah, that's a
Sachika.
lot of fucking Gochi
So-
on the floor.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, like they all have to go inside the bag, and they do.
Yeah, it all starts with good old popping gummy. First one to hop in, everyone's like, "Oh, okay," and then they go in like lemmings.
Yeah. Popping Gummy, like the second most proactive Gochizo behind Senbei. Never forget.
Never forget.
They all jump inside the bag. Oh, I don't know if we mentioned it. It looks like a bag,
Yeah.
like a goodie bag. And so Shoma puts that into his driver, his belt, his tummy, and he henshins into over Gavv. It is kind of like the popping gummy henshin sequence, except it's like a big jar instead of the bag.
Even the design itself is like when he uses popping fist and popping kick. Like those are his arms and legs. He's got like that orange design, gummy design all over him.
There's something with final forms in Kamen Rider, right? It's like they have like two different branches where either they go like white/rainbow or they go base form but like
But more
super.
Yeah.
but more, yeah.
Like they did that in Revice, where their super form is Revice, but more.
Oh my god, can I say I fucking hate those suits. I think Vice is better than base Vice,
Yeah.
but I think I like base Revi so much that I think the final form is just so ugly.
Yeah, I do think it is a downgrade. It's too smooth. It's not very like interesting to look at. There's just a lot of purple, a lot of pink.
Yeah, I think just adding purple into the mix just muddies up the blue and pink. I wish they'd picked like a different color.
For sure. Not
But-
the highlight of that series, but that's the way they decided to go for their super form.
Right. And even Geats, right? Geats 9 is just Magnum,
but
but like
more.
more.
Yeah. Whereas you get Gaim, and you have like his base orange, and now he's the Messiah.
Yeah, now he's a white rainbow god.
They did that also with Ghost. They did it with Build, where you have their white god forms.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you're absolutely right. They either go white or they go base, but more.
Base, but more, baby. I don't want to say too much because I know you don't look at scans. I've seen another form,
Ooh, okay.
so I don't know if it's like parallel, like they're both as strong, but like they have different like strengths and weaknesses, and he switches between them. Or if this is like the almost super form, and then the next one's like the final form. I don't
That's
know.
a likelihood. They did a very similar thing in Build, where before he gets Build Genius, he has Super Rabbit and Super Tank, or Rabbit
Oh.
Rabbit and Tank Tank, as the forms are called. I think that's stupid, so I call him Super Rabbit and Super Tank.
No, you're stupid. The other way.
Rabbit Rabbit and Tank Tank are the worst
Yeah.
names for super forms. But yeah, it's basically where very much before he gets the genius build, it's Rabbit Tank, but it's more Rabbit and more Tank.
Mm.
So it might be the same way here, where he gets his pre-ultimate form, where it's gummy but more, and then maybe the next form is gonna be like the white ultimate form. But that's just me speculating because you've seen it, I haven't.
Right, right. I don't want to give it away because I want your genuine reaction. I will say I know that the names, like I know this one's over Gavv, and I know the next one's over Master Gavv, I think.
Oh.
Which does imply to me that it's like the next stage versus parallel, but I don't know.
It may also be a case where maybe what we're seeing now of Overgav is just like the pre-awakened form, because they do that sometimes too, where like you'll get a super form, but it's not like the true super form. They evolve it in some way later. The way you describe the
Right.
naming convention of it gives me the impression that, oh, maybe Shoma just hasn't mastered Overgav yet.
I can definitely see that, considering in this episode when we see him, he's just like slowly like marching forward. Like he looks like he's heavy.
He is invulnerable though.
Yeah, he's invulnerable, but he's slow, and then he has like a like a big strong punch,
Right.
which if that's what they want to go with for a final form, it's interesting. Certainly, it's way different than any other one that I've seen.
Most super forms give them the classic speed boost where everything is faster, their moves are faster, they destroy everything they touch.
Right. Because of how different this one's presented, it makes me think that, oh, this is not like the real final form.
That is an interesting thought, though.
Yeah, he also has like a lot of like bulk, like you said, like he has like the big fists, he has like big shoulders, which I could see maybe like a kind of like a, what is that shit called, like a Kabuto like cast off.
Ooh,
almost.
Yeah. Oh, that's spicy.
Where like, yeah, like maybe he's like slow and tanky in this mode, and then like he casts off all like the bulk and becomes super speedy.
Oh.
Maybe.
All right, I'm invested.
I don't know.
I'm curious.
Yeah, I either way, I don't hate Overgavu. I think I do like it more than K-King and Blizzard Sorbet.
Right.
It is just very much like Gavv, like Popping Gummy, but orange.
Yeah, and I mean,
but I like I said, I like Popping Gummy. It's probably my favorite of his form.
Yeah, it's definitely grown on me a lot as a form after seeing all of the other forms, because I think my reception of Popping Gummy at the very beginning is like, it's kind of whatever, but it's definitely growing on me. And with this form being just Popping Gummy, but more, is interesting.
Yeah, he looks more animal-like in the helmet, at least. I know, like, there was a big theory about him being like the wolf thing that killed Hanzo's mom. That's not true. I've seen other people say he's supposed to be like kangaroo based, which I guess I can kind of see.
Kangaroo?
Yeah, because like he has like the claws on his feet, even in Popping Gummy.
That's true.
And then the helmet has like the ears, which don't look like a gummy bear ear. But then also like why? Well, hold on. I was gonna say, why would he be a kangaroo? But his final Gochizo is a pouch that goes into his stomach.
Oh my god, now I see it. Oh my god, he is an Aussie! No, he's a marsupial! That's crazy.
I'm kind of talking myself into it as I'm going. I think he is supposed to be kangaroo.
Man, I don't know if I like that. I don't hate it.
Wait, kangaroo's box, and so he has the big fist.
No, I don't know if I like this or not.
Honestly, kangaroo Gavv.
It's an interesting concept. I'll have to warm up to it.
It might be bullshit.
No, but it makes sense. Like, the more you talk about it, the more my brain's like, oh my god,
the more it adds up, man.
Oh my god.
What a bomb.
Yeah, Jesus. I didn't think I'd get my mind blown during one of these podcasts like this.
But I do like Overgavu. I like how it mixes like the metallic orange with like a translucent orange.
Yeah. I love the orange.
Yeah, it's a lot of orange. I'll say this: if you don't like orange, like this is the worst form in Kamen Rider history because my man is just covered in fucking orange.
So there is like an orange form of a previous writer that I was a really big fan of in Kamen Rider Build. Wow, I'm talking about Build a lot in this episode. In Kamen Rider Build, the secondary writer gets like a magma form. And it's very orange, but like in the middle of all of that orange are like streaks of black. It's a very cool design. Very sharp. Like it's not just magma, but like it's dried lava, like stalactites and shit. It's super cool.
Ooh.
Very sharp, interesting design, and it's like a great power up for that character in general. But basically, Overgav gives me the same vibes, but a little bit softer, a little bit more rounded, more gummy. It makes sense. I'm actually a big form of this form of Overgav in that sense.
I don't know how to describe it, but like it looks like juice commercials from like when we were kids.
Wanta Fanta?
Like the way that they'd slam like the cup down and the juice would like spill over the sides or kinda. That's kind of, it has like a liquidy flow to the sculpt of it that I'm a fan of.
Ooh, interesting. Okay, I see what you're saying. I like it. I like that.
Yeah, I like Overgavu. This episode kind of whatever, but I like the suit.
First impressions of the suit are interesting. First impressions of the form in general. I'm gonna reserve my opinion till we see next episode.
Yeah, it is. It is kind of kind of has the constraints that make it not that interesting to watch. Like he's just kind of slowly moving towards the Cookie Man, getting hit, and like it bounces off of him. But he's just kind of moving slow, and then he gets there and he punches, and it's a really big punch. Like the guy is evaporated.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he blows a hole in the mountain behind him. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, it's a cool hit, but as far as like a debut of like the new strong form, it was kind of not, it kind of lackluster. But again, that's maybe because I'm just used to like the crazy, powerful, speedy super god mega form.
Right. You don't get a lot of like slow, bulky forms. Like honestly, the only slow, bulky thing that I thought we'd get would be like Rokon. But
Rokon, that's his candy form, right?
The hard candy form. But I guess interesting change of pace. That's where the episode ends.
Oh my god.
So.
Yeah, Gozyuger jumps across, it's over. What was I gonna say? This Overgav makes Rokon look like Geats 9.
Yeah, you're right.
Rokon's way faster than this. But yeah, little Gozyuger jumps across, and that's where we stop. Oh, Nyelv is there. I don't know if we mentioned.
Oh yeah, Nyelv is.
He comes out of the
Nyelv
bushes.
Introduces this goon guy, and he's like, he's a bigwig in Granite World. And the dude's like, dude, shut up. Stop.
Oh, he's like, dude, you're fucking doxing me.
Which literally does not matter.
No, he's literally obliterated.
Oh, yeah. And I guess Nyelv is watching the whole situation too. Watching is like, oh, Dente made that? It doesn't seem all that special.
Oh, yeah. When it doesn't work, he's like, Dente, what a loser.
Yep. And then all the Gochizos jump in and he's like, oh, he's like super invested. He's bending down on his legs. He's like leaning forward, watching like Gav's every move. I guess it's the mad scientist in him, like blooming.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll get over Nyelv.
Over Nyelv? No, it's gonna be Bake Nyelv. Remember, he's gonna get that Bake Magnum. That's what we're invested in. Remember?
Yeah. Oh, he's gonna make an overbake. Overbaked.
Overbaked. Yo, he's so high. He's blazed out of his mind fighting.
Yep, and it's a dry ass cake.
Delicious.
I don't think I have more to say because we kind of talked about it. Like we took a break from the recap to just talk about the show.
Yeah, I mean, overall, just in general, just the way the episode ended, it was super. It was in the middle of the fight, like we've been talking about. So more
I
to
don't think
see.
this is the middle.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's the end of the fight.
I think, yeah, the guy got punched through the mountain. I don't think it's the middle of the fight. But I think at most, like next episode, like he'll turn to Niel and be like, "You want some?" And then Niel will go away and he'll like de-transform.
Yeah,
I think that's my prediction.
fair enough.
Oh, I forgot we saw the
We
preview.
did see the preview.
I don't remember a damn thing.
Neither do I. Let's let it be a surprise. That's more fun.
Yeah, you would. Why not? Let's walk in blind. Yeah, a little bit of Gavv. You know, I like the team bonding from the first episode we talked about. I like over Gavv as a suit, even if this episode I'm not too thrilled about. And Shoma, I feel like as a character's kind of gotten lost a bit.
In the past couple of episodes, or let's say the past 4 episodes, because I don't think he got that much. Well, no. What was it, 2 episodes ago, he got his team-up fight with Honto, and they're both using their ice forms. It was super cute.
Yeah, it was cute, but I don't know. I just want something more for Shoma. I feel like, you know, because we've had like this big Honto arc.
Right.
We've had like 2 Lakia arcs now. I just, you know, let's touch base with Shoma a bit. Let's give Shoma
Yeah,
an
the
arc.
most he got was his interaction with Lizelle, and honestly, that's more of a Lizelle scene than a Shoma scene.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely like more to establish her as a threat than it was for anything about him.
For sure.
But
We
yeah,
got more Gavs, and we'll get more Shoma. Guaranteed.
guaranteed. Hopefully less Lango.
Oh, speaking of less of a bad guy, we'll go ahead and
Segment
change. Man,
Kuon's not in this
yeah,
shit.
Kuon's fucking gone.
We see him. I think we see him standing at the palace for like the beginning scene, and then that's all.
Yeah.
No Gary budget for these episodes.
Not at all. They talk about how they get immediately in the episode, we're in fucking no one world, and
Oh yeah, something I noticed is okay. So it's a big city surrounding their castle in No One World, but also they have like planets that are close by in their sky.
yeah, it's a little weird.
So is this like? I mean, I don't want to. I feel like it's gonna be an extra dimensional thing, which is kind of boring. I think it'd be more fun if they're just from like a different planet.
Fair.
But yeah, so clearly it's not just like somewhere on Earth. Like it's fucking somewhere else.
My theory on this, with the way it was presented, it's.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I kind of posed this idea. I don't think I posed this idea on the podcast, actually. It was the first time I'm mentioning this. No One World is a parallel world to Earth, but also like it's a parallel world to all the other Sentai series Earths.
Oh, so like No One World is connected to all the other Sentai series.
Right. And that's how they're going to really tie into that anniversary feel and possibly bring back all of the other Sentai in a proper way.
Oh, so it's like a funnel
Yeah.
from like all those planets into the Gozyuger planet.
Right.
Oh.
Which is the way I'm thinking about it, because you can see all like the city around No One World, like all the different planets that are close by. That's just a representation of like the other parallel worlds that are close to them.
Ah, maybe.
So that would be interesting. I don't think they'll do
Nah. They jump through rings, they come to Earth.
which is a big part of the next episode. They talk about it.
That is true. That's what Horyu gets held up doing.
Yeah.
But in our one Kuon scene for the entire episode of the podcast, he's bringing in Meguru. Was it
Osai.
Osai?
Yeah.
Was that his last? Yeah, who was the Tyranno Ranger that they kidnapped his body. Turns out not dead.
Nope, he's got these really cool shades on.
Are they cool? I feel
They're
like
not
it
that
looks really
cool.
stupid.
He's also got like this black like shade around his eyes.
Yeah, he's got the Google Glass and the eyeshadow.
Glass.
And turns out that lets him be controlled by the queen. And the reason they want to do this is because he's still the only reason that they could use Daijujin.
Which I think it's interesting. You would think that the power would be tied to the Sentai ring, but no, it's tied to him as a person.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Because he did say the Daijujin like power was to like dig up fossils or whatever, and that's how he found
Right. Or like
Daijujin.
it wasn't to dig up fossils, it was to like restore artifacts, right?
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
That's how he revived Daijujin. So you would think that the power to control Daijujin would be tied to the ring, but it's tied to him, which is why they're keeping him alive.
Yeah, it's tied to him. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, obviously plot contrivance, whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't super matter. He's here, he's brain controlled.
And that's that scene.
Yeah, Bouquet's actually upset about it, which is interesting.
She's a little bit of a racist. Don't like humans hanging around.
Oh, is that how you
That's
took
how I
it?
took it. It's like even with Fire Candle and like with Kuon there, Fire Candle didn't like Kuon being around. So I thought the same kind of
That's
deal where it's
true.
like, oh, maybe they just don't like humans.
Oh, I think probably that makes more sense. I was like, oh, she's like not. She's like against the mind controlling part.
Ooh, that's a possibility
Because
too.
she's like, is this okay? Like, are we really doing this? And then the queen is like, fucking Bouquet, you little bitch. Like, you're my slave.
Are
Like,
you
shut the hell up.
questioning me?
Yeah, are you questioning me? Like, you should only love me, you stupid little idiot. Now get out there.
Yeah, except for the fact that she's got an Oshi that she's obsessed with.
Yeah, but the queen doesn't know
We
about
don't know
that.
about that. See, that's more interesting to me. That would make Bouquet a more interesting character if she was concerned about the whole mind control deal. I don't think they're doing that.
Mhm.
I think they're
Maybe.
just racist.
I could see like Bouquet and maybe Fire Candle turning like towards the end.
You know,
Like we
yeah.
get some new bad guys to fill out the bad
With
guy.
the way they've introduced these characters, I think that is a possibility. And it's not the first time we've seen bad guys go good. Honestly, if
Of
Fire
course, yeah.
Candle became Goju Polar, that'd be insane.
I do not want that.
You don't want that, but it's not out of the
No.
realm of possibility. Like I mentioned with what is it? With fucking trains. Why can't I remember their name? Yeah,
Tokuger?
Tokuger. Tokyo Orange he was a baddie of the week that became one of the team.
But I don't like Fire Candle.
See, okay, fair. What if Bouquet is Goju Polar?
Oh, female. Now you got me. Now I'm in. You know what? She's already wearing white.
Ooh,
Goju Polar
we're
confirmed.
cooking.
I'll tell you who's not cooking, Sumino, because she's just serving up the bento.
I'm surprised you didn't bring up the beginning of the scene where you get your boy Kinjiro coming in with beatboxing skills, just going down the street, walking up. He's beatboxing his mind out of his ass.
Hell yeah. Everyone on the street turning and looking at him because he's insane.
And then he walks up to the fucking bento shop. Is it a bento? It's a bowl shop. It's something. It's food.
It's some kind it's quick serve food, yeah. And Sumino's out there handing out like food and sales and stuff. She's kind of coy about admitting that she works there. She's like, obviously I'm a detective and this is a lead. And then a guy comes up. He's like, "Hey, Sumino, nice seeing you here every
I'm a
day.
regular.
Got my regular order." Yeah.
Instantly doxes her.
Uh-huh. And she mentioned she's working there to support her family, which I didn't think about or know about.
You forget that, she is a family-oriented person.
No, I understand that, and like her search for her sister, but
Right.
like, what other family is she supporting, and also why does she have to support?
She has literally brought up this supposed family of hers 0% before. Like
Yeah, why aren't they out?
0 times.
Why aren't they out there hunting for the sister?
Why aren't they out there doing
Did
any
her
work?
family give
Apparently, why does she have to work for the family? Literally doing two
That's damn
jobs.
true. Well, I mean, the detective thing is more of a hobby.
You know what?
right?
Fair point.
They're getting into an argument about bento or
No,
something.
they get
right?
into-
like the show up bento.
Yeah, they get into an argument. Not the bento. Oh, jeez, I hate. Okay, I'll be forward with this. Not a fan of this episode. I think it's dumb.
Really?
I don't think anything happened this episode.
Really?
And I will stand by that. I'm not a fan of this episode at all.
This must be the most we've ever disagreed. I liked this episode a lot.
What? No. Okay, maybe it's not the episode that I hate. I hate these fucking no ones. Both this episode and the next episode. No one Showa is such a nothing. No one. Oh my god.
He's the number one show
I
lover.
hate it.
Oh, whoa.
My god. Just the entire premise of him. Okay, we'll get into his introduction. The guy who buys the bento from Sumino is like, man, this bento gives me a real Showa feel. And number one Showa is like, hey, you love Showa? Me too. Absorbs the dude.
Let me absorb you. Yeah.
God.
Why does that make you
It
mad?
was so stupid. It's so contrived. Oh my god. I can't put into words how dumb I think it is.
Oh my god.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
He absorbs the
So
dude.
the number one Showa lover. He shows up.
And then after the guy gets absorbed, Sumino and Kinjiro are talking and they're like, man, you really love the show air, don't you? It's like, yeah, Reiwa though. Like, we live in the Reiwa era.
And then the number one Showa man shows up and he uses his power to rewind this little part of town into the Showa
Which is an
era.
oddly OP power for random minion of the week number 9.
It is. And they do some funny stuff like Sumino's smartphone turns into a rotary phone that she has to carry
Like,
around.
it's a gag. I get it. It's
Yeah.
like funny.
It's cute. They're dressed up like 60s people. Like there's a go-go dancing joke.
Yeah. Go dancing.
He mentions that if Showa had continued, this would be the 100th year of Showa, which is cool. I don't know. I like learning little history facts.
The thing about it, though, is that each different era is separated by whoever the emperor is for Japan. So, like, Showa being 100 years is terribly it's not impossible, but it's terribly unlikely.
I think it's impossible. I mean, I guess it depends on when you become emperor.
That's true.
Come on. Anyway, also, we should mention what he looks like. He's a purple smoke tanuki, and he's got a big old gyat. So him and Kinjiro get into the number one Showa battle. He's got a dumpy.
Yeah, he's got a dumpy, all right. Oh, Jesus.
They get into the number one Showa battle where they're competing about who loves and who knows Showa the most.
Oh, God.
And, there's like go-go dancing.
Okay, this scene's kind of fun.
Yeah, they're just playing, like, doing a bunch of like 60s and 70s stuff. And the Tanuki man wins.
Yeah, what clinches it is how do you dial on a phone? I guess Kinjiro, like, even though Sumino brought out her rotary phone, he dials like it's a fucking smartphone. Like, he forgot that the rotary phone was a thing. And
I mean, even though he's like old man, like he still had like a cell phone now for like a decade.
That's true.
Right?
And then fucking no one shows like, you fool, you fell into my fucking trap.
Yeah, well, he says something that I think is interesting, where he's like, "You may like love Showa, but you're living in Reiwa. You're really just a man with no era." And it's like, whoa, like, yeah, like obviously he grew up like way, way long ago, but now he's having this second adolescence. Now he's a man that time cannot contain. And so that he spirals, obviously.
There was like a scene later, we'll talk about it when we get there, that I did think was a cool line for him.
I liked it.
But like, I don't know. I guess overall, not great, not positive on this episode. It does have its cool moments, but overall, I don't think a lot happened. A lot of this episode didn't matter to me.
I mean, that's most Tokusatsu
episodes. I guess.
If we're honest, like at least 30% of every season you can call filler.
You know what? That's fair. And we are only in episode 10. Maybe I'm being a lot harder on this episode than I should be, but I really don't like the no ones for these 2 episodes.
The next one I understand. This one I liked a lot. So we see Sumino like walking around 60s town trying to look for Kinjiro, who ran off. And she finds the landlord and her son.
God, they're finally back after literally being gone for what, 3-4 episodes?
At least, but they're back now and they're here for some reason.
And they care about the sunset.
Yeah, they're sitting on like a big pile of dirt staring at the sunset. And they mention how like, now like in the current era, this is all like real estate. But back then it was still just like wild land. And so the sunset's really pretty. And so Sumino's like, oh, okay, like, Showa has its charms,
Yeah, which I think, I guess the interesting about this scene to me is it plays into how Japan is kind of a rapidly growing population, ? Because like, a lot of, not anymore. But also, they're on an island. They can't grow anymore. Literally impossible.
It's true.
But even as far back as like 50 years ago, like all of that open space was open space. It wasn't city like it is now.
Right. Now it's all like condos, apartments. I don't even know if they have condos. It might just be apartments. Right. They're a better country. Apartments. Everything had to expand. And so we got a little snapshot of like pre-expansion almost.
Which I think is a little sweet.
And it is touching. Mm-hmm. So she finds Kinjiro on the bench and he's like so sad about being this man out of time, Captain America. And they have like a little heart to heart, right? Where
it's like, I didn't expect to see you here on the edge of Showa looking into Reiwa.
Yeah, he got like out of the barrier, I guess, for like the time bubble. He's like right on the
Right.
edge. And she's talking about how like the new things that she appreciates from Showa. And then he looks out at like the skyline for Reiwa and he's like, you know what? This view is beautiful
Yeah,
too.
there's appeal to the cityscape view. Honestly, like
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think too much about it because, we live in cities. Like
Right.
we don't think about the mundanity of or it's mundane to us. We don't think about like the aesthetics or the beauty of it. And I guess that's a cool little thought. Okay, I am being tough on this episode. The episode was fine. No, you're not gonna get me to warm up to the no one.
But like I like this because it is obviously it's a past focused
Right.
episode. They do a lot of like visual gags with like past stuff, but we come to this end where we see that there's beauty in the past and then there's beauty in the present. Like no one era is just straight up better than the other,
Right.
which is something Kinjiro touches on in the fight, which we can just get to, I think. Oh, we should mention while this is happening, Horu and Yellow are looking around.
Yeah, you also
in
don't remember his
circles.
name? I wrote Tyranno in my note.
Oh, I think his name's Ryu.
Ryuki, yes, that is
I
his
think.
name.
You know, I'll just say this: we're 11 episodes in, still not a focus episode for him.
Yeah, you're right.
Kind of really desperately needs one.
Oh
He
man.
does mention to Hoaru like at the beginning where he's like, "Yeah, so your family's complicated too, huh?" So like, there's
Yeah,
something.
there's something.
There's
They gotta
something
unpack
with him.
that fucking luggage. Like he
Do
he has
something with
potential.
him.
He has potential to be interesting. I don't hate him as a character like I hate Rikuo, but I know Rikuo's name. I didn't know Ryugi's name until you just mentioned it.
Hopefully, we can like get him a focus episode. Please support the
For
Kickstarter.
the Kickstarter. Donate to the Patreon.
Yeah, they're the Ryugi Patreon. Horu tells him like, this is how they get around No One World. They go through circles.
Yeah, which is wild that Hoaru hasn't mentioned this to the team at all before this point.
It's true. But all it does is lead to them walking around the city looking at circle.
Which is really stupid, but also really funny. Like, Hoaru
Yeah.
literally just slams his hand on a circle. He's like, damn, that should have worked. It's like, what do you mean, damn, that should have worked?
They do get a little lucky though, because Bouquet just shows up,
Yeah.
and then Horu's like, "See, like that's how."
Yeah.
So at least Ryugi doesn't think he was being pranked.
It would have been funnier if they had that scene.
So they're fighting Bouquet. At one point, she says "generative," and she sticks her hands in
Yeah,
the
she
circle
pulls
and
guns.
pulls out like flower
Yeah.
pistols. Yeah, that
He
was
fucking
weird.
unloads on him.
It's hot. They're fighting, and then Green and Black go back to the No One,
Yeah.
and he's talking about some show called Kaikatsu Zubat, which I think is actually like an
Yeah,
old
I'm pretty sure it's a
tokusatsu.
real thing.
Yeah. And there he's obviously he loves it. And Kinjiro and Sumino show him that like, oh, like in Reiwa, you can get all this Kaikatsu Zubat merch.
Yeah.
And he's like, whoa.
I don't see my old favorite shows being revived like this. Where's my mare merch? I ain't seeing that shit.
Where is our merch? But yeah, so that convinces I forget how exactly, but
They get into the food bowls where they're like, hey,
oh yeah, they
you
bring
know,
he's
like your favorite bowls of food? There are so many different types now. We can have them delivered using this phone app.
oh, that's right. They show him the glory of Uber Eats,
Convincing this old man that the future is now, and it's great.
but he can't
Yeah, he
accept
can't
it.
accept it, but they really nailed down. It's like, oh, you could really appreciate the past because of all of the things we have now, which I guess is a
Mhm.
good message. That's cool.
Yeah, and he mentions like the inconvenience of Showa was what made the era great.
And it's like, no,
And
you
he
guys
freaks
didn't
out.
think it was inconvenient back then, though. You just lived it. There's a difference.
Yeah, in the fight, Kinjiro is like, the people of Showa didn't think it was inconvenient. And he says, the people in Showa worked hard so that we could make an era like Reiwa, which is just, it's just beautiful. Like, obviously, he's a man of both generations. And, you do, hopefully, the majority of people like to think that our goal is to make the world better for the people who come after
Right.
us. And that's a very touching sentiment and one that I'm happy to see in this Japanese children's television show.
Yeah, and like just the message of not sticking to the old ways just for the sake of sticking to the old ways. Like you can still appreciate the past so long as you're still going into the future. Like it's great.
Green even says like the people in Showa had the spirit to look ahead.
Yeah, and you
And
forgot
because you're
that
still
spirit.
so hung up on the Showa era, you're the one who's betrayed
Oh,
Showa.
Uno reverse card.
Literally. And he's like, oh, fuck.
He's right. And then they get into the whole Nazi scene with the boxing ring, which is where that line I talked about comes into play, where Kinjiro introduces himself, Goji Iko, the man that time is trying to catch up to. Which I think is
That's
like,
so
it's a
sick.
hard line. It's sick as fuck. That was the coolest part of
He's
this
cool.
episode.
Wait, he does like an eagle finish or whatever onto the no one, and then something very weird happens. We've seen like the people get absorbed by no one's like get pulled out.
Yeah, they
we've seen that
killed
before.
this guy.
Yeah, I don't even
He's
know.
not dead.
Like
I think he shows up at
he-
the end of the episode.
Eagle reaches in to like pull him out, but instead of like coming out, he just goes into Eagle's circle, like on his chest.
Yeah,
What is that?
it was weird.
Why?
They didn't need to do that.
Everyone else just got pulled out and was like, oh, that was weird. Why does he get absorbed by Green?
Listen, it's inconvenient for you to just be running around while we're fighting this asshole. Get inside me.
I don't know, man. That was like the weirdest thing to me in this episode. Because now Green has absorbed a man.
I mean, he spits him out.
When?
He shows up at the end of the episode. I have a vague memory of him going back to get another bowl of food.
We don't see on screen him like pull him in and then spit him out after the fight is
Yeah,
done.
no, that's off screen.
We literally just see this man get absorbed into Green, and then it's never brought up again.
It's never brought up again. That's true.
I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, God. See, now we're going to get more scenes in the future of people getting sucked into like their chest holes.
Welcome to Vor Ranger.
No.
Hoaru and Bouquet are fighting and stuff, and then I think Riku is there now.
No, Riku isn't there yet. They're fighting, and then Bouquet's about to unload a clip on them, and he blocks it with the Tegasword hands, like, you guys look like you were having trouble, because Bouquet can't know that Riku is blue yet.
Of course. And then she summons Black Daijujin.
She does.
Shows up with like he fucking rocks the earth. He's breaking down buildings and shit. He doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, and I think by that point, Kinjiro and Sumino make it to the fight, and they're like, "Oh, Black Daijujin's here. Why is it black?"
Which, first of all, you can't just ask. Why.
You can tell that to Sumino. You can just ask.
Yeah. Now this. You're talking about how the stuff before pissed you off. This is the part of the episode that I was triggered.
Oh no, I was mad by this. That was part of the episode too. It's so fucking stupid.
Okay. Yeah. So all of a sudden, the ninja ring starts glowing, and they're like, "Your appreciation of the spirit of Showa has imbued this ring with power."
No, the exact phrase he uses is the spirit of Showa that you have shown has resonated with the mentality of the ninja ring. And mentality is a term that I never thought I would hear again, because I also hate that about ninja. The reason why they could do all of their shit is because of their mentality. It's basically the chakra of their fucking universe, and I hated it. Mentality is such a stupid fucking phrase. You cannot convince me otherwise.
Why ninja?
Why ninja?
Just
why did you have to make them matter in any way?
Why is the Showa energy empower this Heisei era ring? Like, what? Like, there's a ninja sentai in Showa.
Exactly.
It's fucking Kaku Ranger.
And they decided not to capitalize on it.
Like, the whole thing that they're doing this is so they can make clones of the Tegasword. But, like, I'm pretty sure in the opening, at least, of Kaku Ranger, they make clones.
100%.
I just don't know why ninja. It's so out of nowhere. Like, why? The whole episode is about Showa, and then they get the power up in fucking
Heisei,
ninja?
in the Heisei series.
Yeah, in Heisei.
Which, by the way, no love for Heisei at all in this episode.
Yeah, it's very Showa and Reiwa focus. Heisei kind of gets left behind. But also, like, Tegasaur's just handing out power ups. Like, he just gives out rings now.
Yeah. Also, what is it? When Hoodoo activates it, his body doesn't move like he's controlling it. His body is like, I feel like a fiery energy in me now, and then he does like the claps. Like whenever they're activating the rings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then they do like, oh, the elemental ninja summon the Tegan sword, multiple forms, bullshit. Oh God.
Yeah, so it just makes a bunch of the big ninja shurikens. I mean, Ninja's kind of like an anniversary, right? Because they have all the different, like
Yeah.
each of their mechs is like based on different like archetypes or whatever.
Wasn't it Ninja an
Maybe that's.
anniversary series? I don't even remember. I don't want to remember. I stopped
I
watching.
don't know if it was a. I don't know if it was a specific year, but I remember about the mech where it was like you had the construction one and like a fantasy one and then like an animal one and then the train.
Okay,
It was like
like yes, but also if I'm remembering, and I don't want to remember, but so that's probably stopping me from remembering it completely. Each of their different like their mechs was an aspect of like them. Like Blues was a
oh
dragon because he didn't like doing ninja stuff. He actually wanted to be like a magician. He wanted to be like a mage. And he was really leaning into the whole fantasy thing, like European fantasy, which is why his mech was a
right.
dragon.
I see. I see.
I don't think it was for the sake of being anniversary. I may be wrong though, because I just don't want to remember a lot about Ninja
That's fair. I haven't heard anything good.
for reasons.
But yeah, so the big shurikens fly up, and then everyone's Tegasword is there.
Yeah, and they just fucking unload on Daijujin. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, they just gang beat the shit out of him. Like they're stomping his brains
Which
out.
is crazy because Hueru, before he does his final hit, is like, "Sorry, Osai, you're just gonna have to hang in there," and literally like punches a hole straight through the body of Daijujin. And I was like, "Oh, Osai is fucking dead. He's definitely. If he wasn't dead before, he's dead now."
But then he's not. And not only is he not dead, he's recovered everything. That Google glass is
Right.
gone.
The glasses get knocked off his face. They just end up on the floor for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I'm kind of surprised that even during the kidnapping, I thought he was dead because just the way Kuon just fucking blasted through him.
I thought he was gonna be like a
I
zombie.
thought he was gonna be a zombie, but no, he's alive, and apparently the Gozyugers are his Oshi. He's then Oshi's them.
Yeah, he mentions like his wish has come true multiple times now. And he's like, it's time for me to make my exit. But he doesn't give him the ring.
Nope, he doesn't. He shakes hands with
Like,
them.
yeah, I thought, I mean, this seems like the end of Osai's being important, I guess.
Well, I mean, yes, but also next episode he does do something at the very beginning of the episode.
Oh, yeah, well, he sends him a gift. But, like, I don't know. It feels like it's very much the door is open because he might be able to repair Daijujin. He still has the Tyranno ring.
Yeah, I guess he's still kind of relevant in the fact that because he has the ability to bring back, like, all the other mechs, it seems like he has that ability.
Right. He could, yeah.
And we already know that him being able to pilot Daijujin is him and not the ring. So maybe he just needs to stay alive.
Maybe he will come back. Who knows? But yeah, jumping into episode 11, he does mail them like boxes.
Yeah, storage boxes for the rings they've gathered. And we find out that Hoeru's got the most rings of them. What is it? Kinjiro
he has 5.
Yeah, Hoeru has 5. Kinjiro's got 2. Riko's got 3? Or is it 2?
I don't remember. Oh, we jumped over 2 Sentai warriors attack Riku in the opening.
Yeah, that did happen.
Yeah, they're looking for revenge because their girlfriends fell in love with Riku.
Okay, to be fair, one of them was valid. I don't know if you remember this, but he mentioned that all the funds that he was going to use for the engagement ring were used on his fan merch. I get it. That's a valid crash out.
That's pretty valid. What is not valid is our big, beautiful king getting shrunk down into a normal suit size.
Oh, yeah. No, one of them is like, he is a big king. Honestly, the way they shrunk him down to regular suit size, a little bit lazy, pretty disrespectful.
A little lazy. Yeah. I mean, it's just like, the only one I can think of really is Jetman, like the yellow
Right.
owl. That's like our only big boy ranger, I think, that I can think of.
Like, obviously, the reason why they did it was probably for, like, budget reasons. It's probably
Yeah,
easier
well, I'm
just to
sure,
have,
like,
like, the regular suit actor, you know?
yeah, the suit actors you have on staff probably are just generic body types.
Right.
But then I don't know why make him a big. Is it more or less insulting if a big boy gets shrunk down versus not having a big boy
I
at
do
all?
feel like
I'm
if
not
they kept
sure.
him as a big boy, they just use him for comedic relief, and that's pretty disrespectful.
Hmm. I mean, they both are just basically comedic relief, right? They get mopped by
That is an
Rico.
excellent point. They get hella mopped by Rikuo.
Yeah, they just get demolished real easy.
Yeah, their rings get dislodged from their Tegaswords, and their Tegaswords are like, man, you guys are ass, I'm out. And they just fucking disappear.
Yeah, they just evaporate immediately. And they're both
They are
eagles,
both eagles.
right? It's one's a Vol Eagle and then the other one is
Yeah,
Juo
Jewel
Eagle.
Eagle.
Is that
Yep.
the yeah? So he has both of those, and then they all put their rings in the boxes, and they're all happy. And then a man walks into town.
Real Western, this guy. He's got the spurs, he's got the fucking chaps.
He's got the spurs. He got the chaps. He's got a hat with a bull on it.
And the actor
And
is Kamen Rider Zero's actor. I don't remember the actor's
yeah,
name, but he is a prominent Kamen Rider actor, which is interesting. Why are they bringing actors from all these other Tokusatsu series?
yeah, we've had an Ultraman and now a Kamen Rider, and still no Sentai or just one Sentai. I guess if you're keeping track, everyone's on the board at one.
You know what? Fair
There's
point.
one Sentai, one Kamen Rider, one Ultraman. Yeah, he calls himself like the Beast Tamer or something,
Yeah,
right?
the number one beast tamer. Not a no one,
Mhm.
but he is the number one beast tamer.
Yeah. He's looking for the one-horned beast that stole from him.
Yeah, we got that accent.
And then a fucking panda walks in. Or does he walk in or they walk out to the street? I don't remember. Anyway, there's a panda.
There's a panda. What is it? They're all at the shop, right? Is that the next scene?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all at the shop, and then he shows up, and he's like, "Man, like, God, I don't even remember his line."
Yeah, he looked like he was just gonna eat something. Like he was just going to the cafe.
Yeah.
And then the panda shows up. He's the number one tag player. And he sucks.
God. Okay, like these past two no ones, like I understand, like the no ones have just in general been kind of like their concepts are super like what's the word I'm looking for? Like
Silly.
silly, very abstract. That's the word I'm looking for. Like no one Showa, fucking no one tag. What the? Before that was like no one fucking the pickup
no one
artist, no one
busybody.
busybody.
No one pickup
Like
artist.
what the fuck is up with all these no ones?
I mean, you can really see why. Like they have the castle people, and then the no ones are like outside of that.
Right. I'd rather
They're
have
the
like an
league below.
army of Cassius Bear.
Oh,
Never forget. That's my what we're gonna bring him up every episode till the series ends.
That's the one we'll remember. by now.
Exactly. I ain't gonna remember the rest of it. Cassius Bear was peak.
Hell no, hell yeah. So yeah, well, first of all, our cowboy man says that he's the number one tag player. He calls the no one tag player the number two tag.
Yeah, you're fucking nobody.
Which is a burn.
And he took that personally.
Yeah, they're gonna play tag in the forest. When of course our cowboy reveals he's a ring warrior.
Yep.
He's
Gao
Gao
Danger.
Lion.
Gao Leon?
Yeah.
Gao Lion?
Gao
I
Lion.
don't remember.
I don't remember. He's Galleon, and they forgot the claws.
They did. Interesting suit choice. Like literally, the Gozyugers have claws on their hands.
Oh my god! But like they just give him generic white claws. I wonder if it's because, as we'll see later on, he plays instruments.
Oh,
And I wonder if they were like, oh, with the claws, you can't really play the kalimba that well.
That's a lot of thought.
Yeah, like if it was just for the instrument, like close-ups, he had different gloves, I wouldn't care. But he even does like the Gow Ranger poses, which have their claws like pointed
Right,
out.
like it's super prominent. It's their iconic pose. It bothered me that he did have the
Yeah, it
claws.
bothered me too. I mean, if you look at the Gow Ranger suits, they're pretty damn plain. Like they have the cool animal helmet, they have the weird, like the gold sash across the chest, and then the claws.
Right.
Like if there's 3 elements to the Gow Ranger costumes, and you just left off one of them, it's not great.
No, not great. Feels not anniversary-y, and it does kind of leave a black stain on this episode.
It does.
I mean, we're going to get more of them. I don't think they're going to fix it for next episode either.
No, I doubt it. But at least we are getting more. And what the preview has me excited.
That's true.
I'll say.
But they're fighting in the forest. He transforms into Gow. No, he's already transformed into Gow Ranger, right? By this point.
Yeah. Well, he shows up as cowboy and then he transforms into Gow.
Right.
Or Gow Lion.
And then fucking Tag Man is just, God, I hate him.
He challenges them all to a game of freeze tag.
Yep. And then
he makes a bunch of bellboys.
they're all fucking playing
like,
tag, and Hoeru is it.
Yeah, they're like whichever side gets all frozen first wins, or Hoeru's it, something like that. It's tag.
Yep. And then Gao Leon pulls out a kalimba.
Yep, and he starts playing it, and that makes Hoeru mind control.
The really weird pet play portion of this episode.
Oh yeah, he's like crawling around on all fours, and he's like barking. But it is working, like he's freezing all the guys.
Yeah, and then he
even freezes the tag man, right?
Yeah, he freezes the tag man. Tag man breaks out. He's just like, I don't give a fuck about this. But before that, he goes back to Galeon. They do really weird shit. He holds his hand out. It's like, give me your paw. And then he does like the handshake. And then he breaks out of the mind control for like half a second, say, hey, this is fucked up. Stop doing that. And then he does it again, and Hoeru just kind of cuddles up to him. It's really weird.
Yeah, he like rubs his head on him like he's purring like a cat.
Not my cup of tea. Made me a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure for like kids who don't know about kink stuff, this is probably like, haha, he's like an animal. But it's a little much.
I mean, okay, they've made Hoeru act like an animal throughout the entire series, so it's not out of place. It's just weird.
That's his lot in life.
Yeah, that is his lot in life. But after that weird moment, Tagman breaks out and he's like, hey, no. And I think, what is it, the 5 o'clock alarm plays?
Oh, yeah. The sun sets and they play the alarm where it's like, everyone make sure to be careful going home. And he's like, everyone knows you can't play tag after sunset. I'll see you losers tomorrow.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Which is great. And then before Cowboy Man leaves, he's like, Rikuo, I think you got the makings of a mighty fine Beastmaster.
Which is weird.
For some reason. Yeah. I don't remember Rikuo doing anything that would cause that.
I mean, the only thing he's got going for him is that he's an ex-idol and his fans are rabid. That's about the closest thing I can imagine.
The raving rabbits.
No.
So we get a little scene of Rikuo like playing chess, kind of like trying to figure out what his game plan is. And Hoeru's just like, yeah, well, tomorrow I'm going to be good at tag.
I mean, it's a little tender moment between them, I guess.
It's true. They haven't had much.
I mean, Rikuo hasn't had a lot to work with. He's literally just kind of been an asshole the entire way through.
Yeah, well, you know what? He's still got more than fucking Ryugi.
Poor Ryugi.
Give us the Ryugi cut.
How are we 11 episodes in and Ryugi hasn't gotten shit?
In nothing. Not a damn thing. And he's not getting anything this episode. Nope. So the next day, they all show up to play tag. And the number one is like, I'm it, haha, and he starts running after him, and everyone's running away.
Oh, wait, there was something we forgot to mention about this number one. They do have a scene in No One World in the castle where they're talking about how this number one is different from how this no one is different from all the other no ones, and this is the scene where it all culminates because they're all in like the usual Tokusatsu warehouse where they're having their showdown.
That's very true. But yeah, so they're all running away except Hoeru, who stands still, and then the tag guy is like, "Don't you know the rules? Like, haha, you're out." And Hoeru's just like, I make up my own rules.
Yeah, fuck your game of tag. And he starts wailing on him.
Yeah, he's like, I'm it now, so I can beat the shit out of you. And the guy's like, that's not tag.
The guy's literally like, remember, it's just touching. And he literally gets the shit beat out.
Yeah, Hoeru's like, in my tag, I can stab the shit out of you.
And
Which
fucking
this is another thing that it calls back to like the treasure hunting episode.
yeah.
Where to win the treasure hunting, Hoyru thinks outside the box and it's just like, well, I'll steal all you guys and then I'm the winner.
You know what? Fair
This is
point.
very
That
much
was a
like,
good one.
yeah, they're like, oh, well, I'll just change the rules of tag.
It's like,
Now I
I'm
win.
it. Well, I'm gonna fucking tag the shit out of you. And then fucking Galeon tries to get in the way, plays his little kalimba.
Mm-hmm.
And then Hoyru's like,
then
fuck
how does
that
Hoyru
shit.
break up?
What is it? He tries to make
He, like,
Hoyru
howls, right?
run away, right? Like, Hoyru's about to run out of the door.
Yeah.
But Hoyru's like, fuck that shit. He Vorpal blades a portal right back to the no one.
Yeah.
And then...
And he does something, he somehow gets rid of the kalimba, doesn't he?
I think that's when, Gozyuger and Gozyuger actively stop him from doing things. Like, they shoot the kalimba out of his hands.
Oh, you're right.
And then it's a little scene where they're fighting Galeon.
Right. And are they fighting Galeon or are they? Oh,
yeah, they are
must
fighting
be.
Galeon. By the way, we haven't mentioned his name the whole time. His name is fucking Gaia, like the Earth.
Oh yeah, it was Gaia Todoroki.
Yeah, Gaia Todoroki. I guess because he'll be relevant next episode, we should learn his name. Osai got a name.
Oh, that's true. I didn't write down Todoroki's name.
That's fine. I just thought it was a weird enough name to remember.
We do see Leon Rikuo transform into Zhuo Eagle.
Yes, because
right? He turns into...
he starts as
Full Eagle first.
He starts as Galeon, or he starts as Gojulion, and then Galeon pulls out a flute. No, that's not the flute.
Oh no, he turns into.
He pulls out.
This is so complicated.
Yeah, he pulls out something to control.
He pulls out something to control a lion.
And then Goju Leon is like, "Fuck that! I'm changing." Pulls out the Volt Eagle?
It was Zhuoger.
Okay.
No,
he pulls out
Zhuoger first,
he pulls out the Zhuoger ring, transforms into Zhuo Eagle. And he's like, I'm not a lion anymore. I'm a fucking eagle. And then he and Kijiro have a little moment. It's like, oh, we're both eagles. That's cute. Then they start wailing on him.
And they're fighting. And then he pulls
out the flute.
Galeon pulls out the flute to control eagles. But then, surprise, Zhuo Eagle can turn into a gorilla
He
form.
lifts up his mask, does the gorilla transformation, starts wailing on him again. He's like, oh, what do I have to control? Gorillas, oh, fuck. Oh.
Oh, yeah. He's like panicking, looking through his bag. And then he does turn into Volt Eagle.
Yeah, he does turn into Volt Eagle afterwards. And then they just wail on him some more.
But they don't break like his Tegasaur.
No,
right?
they don't. He's still around.
Yeah.
It cuts back while they're fighting him. It cuts back to Hoyru fighting the number one tag boy.
Right.
He kills him using his like super fighting combo, like rainbow, super stylized move.
He does his cool. No. He does his cool like portal.
Yeah, where he opens up portals both ends. Man just starts zooming through the portals at Mach speed, and he's slicing through him. God, it's so fucking cool.
It's really cool. It's a great finisher.
And then he dies, but in the moment of his explosion, Bouquet is like, "Oh, it's time for his special thing to be seen,
to be revealed."
And then it turns out that this no one, because note that we hadn't mentioned at all that anybody had turned into this no one. This no one just showed up.
Yeah.
Well,
there was no scene of a person talking about how much they love tag getting absorbed.
Nope, no. This no one was made from another no one.
Well,
we don't know that. But
we know that there's some kind of monster inside.
Right, and this monster is a monster that Gaia has a tooth to pick with.
That there's the horned beast that done took my wife.
We don't know if it's his wife.
We don't know if it's his wife. It's a girl. It's a woman he cares about. We get a little flashback of like him holding her hand. Or something.
They're in like the mountains. They're on like a camping trip or whatever.
Mm-hmm. So this is the horned beast that absorbed, or I'm saying absorbed now, but stole his loved one,
the person that he cares for, and that's kind of where the episode ends. You get see this dark one-horned beast, kind of a sick design. You pointed it out to me because I didn't know.
Yeah. Apologies to everyone who has seen Gao Ranger. We're about to talk a lot about Power Rangers Wild Force. So this design is very reminiscent of Gao Silver, or the Wolf Ranger's like monster form called Zanaku in Power Rangers, at least, where it is like the one horn. He He has like the big like batless kind of sword, and even like the certain like sculpting details like on the arms and like the waist cape. It's definitely like a callback. Like I don't think it's just
Yeah,
random.
there's no way it's a coincidence.
I'll say this one doesn't look wolf like. This horned beast, it does. Whereas Zanaku's very much like a wolf monster.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's first of all, it's like it features the Gao Ranger guy. His wife's name is Luna, the moon.
The
And then there's like a
moon.
monster that looks like the wolf beast. Like I see it. Like this is of all like the past like the Sentai Ring warriors we've seen, this has the most set up like
Yeah, this is
reference
the
to the
most
actual
anniversary
show.
that this series has felt.
Yeah, very much so. Except for
Well,
the
yeah.
fact that no one from Cow Ranger is here.
Yeah, which is weird. And then I'd mentioned this to you while we were watching, and with the way that we have it set up where no one world is kind of like the center of the dimensions, I think that
Hmm.
there's probably going to be a story reason why we're not getting the original actors for each series. And that's because it's going to be very Decade-ish, where this is just an alternate dimension where none of those Sentai existed, because they're going to be connected to the actual dimensions where those Sentai existed.
It could be. Personally, I hope not. Like, just because I want more Sentai cameos. But if we're not gonna get that, then at least having some kind of story explanation would be better than just being like, oh, we didn't have time or like we didn't have budget.
Yeah, actors are expensive. We can't get our old Sentai actors back, even though every like cameo that's been in every other Sentai has always had people reprise their role.
Yeah, even just last year in Boom Boomjer, I remember people saying like or theorizing that we would never see Tokyo Ichigo again because his actor has gotten so famous,
Oh,
I
that's
guess.
crazy.
Yeah, and while sure, like he wasn't in the full episode, they did get a little cameo at least. So, I mean, there's obviously like a ton of Sentai actors out there that either have like retired or like didn't make it past Sentai,
Right.
that you can still like get in here. Like obviously in Gokaiger, like we didn't have the full teams for any of the
Right.
anniversary
But
like
we had people
episodes.
reprise their
And
roles.
sometimes yeah, like sometimes it wasn't even like the red or the sixth, like we had like I think Mammoth for Zhu Ranger, just the black ranger or like just a blue
Right.
ranger. So I just I feel like kind of shitty because we keep being like, well, it's not as cool as Gokaiger when everyone showed up.
Yeah.
But I think part of that was like the marketing. Like leading up to this, we were led to believe that this was going to be like a big crazy anniversary type thing.
Right. And I guess that it feels like false advertising. It gave us an expectation that they are not fulfilling, and that's the
Right.
disappointing part. But I guess, as a series, it does have its moments. It is standing on its own. I just don't think it should have been
Yeah.
advertised as an anniversary series.
Yeah, I think the same. I think for a Sentai show, it's good. I'm having fun. I like the characters, except Rikuo probably.
Yeah.
And even though we're shitting on him, he did have a cool line that we didn't mention where he was like, "I'm gonna liberate myself and become." This is Rikuo season 2.
Yeah, that was a
I,
cool line.
it's fun to dump on a character, but like he is growing. Like whatever.
I mean, I'm not a really big fan of the no ones. A lot of the okay, we're 11 episodes in. Like half of the no ones have been misses for me.
Yeah, but I mean personally, like monsters of the week are just monsters of the week.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I'll take stupid idiots like these over just generic like, "Oh, I'm gonna eat the humans" every episode.
Very true.
Like one thing I haven't finished Boom Boomger yet, but one thing I don't like about it so far is that all the monsters of the week are just like appliances or just like random things that get turned into monsters.
Yeah.
So they have like no personalities. They just repeat like their name or like the onomatopoeia associated with them. They're literally just there for them to get
Yeah, I
punched,
don't know if you'd watched beyond the episode we had last talked about. I think you were on episode 18 when we last talked about it. I'm on episode like 22 now.
Oh
The
wow.
most interesting, like, God, what are they called? Like Guduma, like
Yeah.
Mad
I don't
Guduma,
even
like Mad
remember.
Raging Beast, they call them in English.
Yeah, yeah.
But the most interesting one is one that isn't necessarily just the whatever that they put the key in. How far have you gotten past episode 18?
No, I haven't
Okay,
watched it since.
gotcha. So I think episode 20 is where this Gudama shows up. And it's interesting because it's not just the Guruma. So that's something to look forward to, I guess. But I agree, a lot of them are super boring because they're Pokemon. They're the appliance, and all they say is whatever the fuck they are.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll take stupid idiots like the no ones.
That's true.
Because at least they're memorable.
They're colorful.
You know, like,
they have personality.
Like you'll be like, oh, I hated that fucking tag guy, but you'll remember how much you hated him. I couldn't even tell you like any of the appliances from Boom Boonger. I think one of them was like was there like a satellite, or he put satellites on people's heads or something?
It was like a radio.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. I'll take a tag moron over that.
Tag moron. You know what? Fair play.
Yeah. I'll always take memorable over bland, even if you remember it because you hated it.
Yeah, I mean, since we're on the topic of it, I will say about Boom Boonger, the bad guys are less interesting, but like the characters I think are more interesting. Like I think the Sentai team is more interesting than where Gozyuger is right now. But also they haven't had enough time for me to be completely invested in everybody yet. I've still got to let it cook. We're 11 episodes in.
It is harder because, I mean, just comparing it to Boom Boonger, like Boom Boonger, we had time where like the team was growing.
Right.
You know, like it's like a few episodes with just the three, and then we added Black, and then a few episodes until we got Orange. Right. And even though Black and Orange were like already in the show, like as characters, so like they got built up and then became part of the team.
And even Violet's getting time to develop too, from what I'm seeing.
Yeah. Whereas for Gozyugers, it was like first episode just Hoiru, second episode 3, next episode 4, next episode 5. Like like we talked about, like Ryugi still hasn't had a focus episode,
and Riku's focus episode is ass.
Yeah, Riku has now had 2 kind of. This one was like a half Riku focus, I'd say. So yeah, I mean, as far as Gozyuger as a show, I'm enjoying it. You know, it's a mixed bag, but that's just Tokusatsu. But the anniversary stuff, again, I feel like we're just gonna harp on this every episode of the podcast. Like, it's just not enough anniversary stuff.
Yeah, 2 things that'll come up every episode till the end of the series. Not enough anniversary and Cassius Bear.
Cassius Bear, damn straight. But you know, they're setting up something with Gao Ranger. It's kind of cool. It's cool to have more Gao Ranger stuff. Like they're gonna play around with the girl being trapped inside the beast, which is like a callback. But I don't know if any of that. I don't know if any of that will like super matter or like be super flavorful to Gao Ranger.
We'll see. I'm at least a little invested.
Yeah, I hope we come back and we love it, and then we're like, why didn't you make all of them like this? Please make more.
Yeah, we're having those ups and downs every couple of episodes, you know.
That's very true with both shows.
This is my down for Gozyuger right now.
Well, we'll see you on the next ups and downs.
Oh boy!
Next time
on Tokusatsu, just 2 guys talking Tokusatsu.
Bye-bye.
Peace.